What's up, YouTube world? Steve, Dave, Insert Revolution Podcast, episode 51. So, tonight we have get back to our negative ways, in a way. We'll be talking about like how you're honest with your hobby. And I just told Steve, and I can admit this, I had forgotten completely about the topic this morning. DC and the group chat. I can't wait to see where this goes tonight. And I looked at him like, I guess you're not the only one looking forward to it, because I am too, because I don't even remember what the topic is. So
that's called old age.
Yeah. So
you better have.
I actually had to read not only the title, but I had to go through the descriptor and see what the hell did I use. Well, okay, now I remember the picture, but what the hell is it in reference to? First off, we're sponsored by saw you swigging, I think, Bud Light and WCP.
Wild Cherry Pepsi, for those who don't know what that stands for.
Anything in the mail this week, perhaps, or any pickups that you required?
Last week, I share with everybody one pickup from the National, courtesy of Brad. I did finally get a post up on Instagram, so it's out there for anybody who follows me on Instagram. I will do a video at some point. It'll be the lone July pickup, since my videos are turning into monthly. But yeah, the one card. What's going on, LA Pats? Welcome back. And I am going to go on record. So, we always talk about friendships. LA Pats, I am going to speak about you for a minute. Hope you don't mind. As I had indicated, I did reach out to him because we hadn't seen him in a few weeks. I don't want to take away his thunder, but he took an extended vacation, a very cool vacation. So if you want to talk more about it, LA Pats, please feel free to do so. I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to steal your thunder, because it was really cool, the opportunity that he had. And he did share some pictures with me. So I felt like I got to be a part of that family vacation, which was really cool. So welcome back. It's good to see you back in the chat again. And quit throwing up so many damn pictures on Instagram. You're killing my Instagram feed. It takes me forever to get through all of them.
And if you're gonna put Piazza, put him with the Dodgers uniform. I can't like that Mets stuff. I love it, but I can't. That's again my collecting sort of brackets. I have to bracket somewhere with him too, but Dodger stuff I love. And the Marlins, the couple cards he had, the Rookies and Stars '98, I think was one of them, and I don't know if it was like a Fleer Ultra. Might have had one that year too, but stop showing the Mets stuff. I don't like the Mets. I'm a Phillies fan. So.
Shut your mouth, Dave. You can't tell somebody what they can and can't post. Come on now.
I can do
that
whatever.
Negates Doesn't that defeat the purpose?
Tis true. There's some stuff you posted today too, though, of Piazza that was
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. I thoroughly enjoyed seeing a lot of those cards for sure. Before we dig too deep, though, also. So there you go. Yeah, it was awesome to hear about it and then see the pictures. So it was really cool. And thank you again for sharing. But before we dig too deep into anything, what's going on, Bobby? I would like to wish you a happy anniversary tomorrow. Come on, Dave. Think about it. Tomorrow is officially our 1 year anniversary for the Insert Revolution podcast. I went back and double checked the date just to play it safe. But yeah, one year ago tomorrow, we started this journey. So happy anniversary.
To you as well.
And to everybody who's been along for the ride, for that matter. Didn't expect for it to last this long, but we're still going strong. And hopefully we'll be here for year 2, year 3, year 22. Okay, probably not that long, but
that might be pushing it, but it's definitely been fun. Again, we've gotten to know, I don't know how many people we otherwise would have never had the chance. And I'll single you out on this one, especially you, for not being as active still in like the YouTube community or even on Instagram at that point in time. For people you would have never even stumbled across. You might have seen maybe somebody's name in the comments or in like a video or something, but that would have basically been the extent of it. So if there's nothing else I can hang my hat on in life, and I've reached out to people that I wouldn't reach out to. I give them my kudos, my thanks for certain things. If I cannot do anything else, if I've known for nothing else besides negativity and videos where you shouldn't probably upload them, and if you don't have like editing equipment to like digitize like certain areas on a body or whatever in a scene that maybe in a shower or a dance video or whatnot, it's bringing people together, and people that normally, I wouldn't say wouldn't have the chance, but you're not going to sit there. And I don't want to say I'm like in the middle. There's the cool kids, there's the stoners, the skateboarders, there's the band nerds or whatever, the people that are studying for the SAT in like 7th grade. I'm not that guy that's like, hey, why don't you all come here and we'll all go to the table. I just want to be the guy that allows people that opportunity. And I try that in any way, shape, or form I can, because that's, believe it or not, important to me. I mean, it sounds odd to hear something like that come out of my mouth, especially with all the the vulgarities and profanities that are usually tumbling out, but that's something I'm very cognizant of. And for as much as I dislike people in this hobby, you can find a lot of people you don't know about through a lot of these shows. Our show, Carlos's show, anyone else that has a show through StreamYard, through like Facebook Live, YouTube Live, you can find people that you don't like. That's fine, but at least you can hear them. Like, man, some of the stuff doesn't really jive with whatever I think of hobby wise, life wise, whatever the case may be. But you can do that now instead of before, where it was like, man, you hear in a video and you get a smidge, a tidbit. But now with the COVID stuff, the last year and a half, you really get a chance to open the door, sort of be a spectator in some folks' lives. And I'm glad that through this, that I've been able to sort of like wrangle some people. Again, it's not like we're getting thousands of views. We don't want that. We want the true core. We want the guys and gals that are really dedicated to the hobby, that it's not always about cards. A lot of folks say that out there. I don't believe a lot of folks that say that. I think the track record for us is very substantial, and it's not shoddy like some of these other folks when the camera's on, you're one person. When the camera's off, I got a feeling a lot of these people are people that I wouldn't piss on to put out if they're on fire. So
That's a little harsh, Dave, but point taken.
if I'm dehydrated,
you didn't give that specification.
Unless you're pouring the water right by my ear, and then maybe I can think of like a waterfall or something with Tristan and I up on the North Shore, like, maybe like a little trickle comes out. But it's a lot of speak, just a lot of talk out there, and I don't want to be that guy that just talks. Thank you, Foxy. Jason, what is up? And it is. Chicken sandwiches are paramount in any walk of life.
Yep. Many a shows were surrounded around chicken sandwiches. Still not quite sure how we went down that diatribe, but it will live in IRP infamy until the end of time.
And actually, before the show thought of something else for like a shirt, I'll talk to you offline about it, but it's
okay.
I think it'd be humorous and interesting. And I think we'd both like it, and I think everybody else would like it too that actually knew us or knew of us. So they'd be like, okay.
So is it like an inside joke thing that only those who have kind of been around would understand?
No, it would be those that actually have known us for at least the 10 years on YouTube.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
They've stumbled across us and maybe they parted ways with us or whatever the case may be. They did. I get that. That makes sense there. So, again, it's corny, but in my head it looks fantastic. So that's all I'm at.
We can definitely spitball it and see where it heads. We're still kind of leaving it open to you guys for any other potential suggestions. Mike 25, Modown 25 suggested stickers along with the shirts. So whatever the front of the shirt would be, creating a sticker for the same scenario. And I ran that by Vinny, and he mentioned that shouldn't be an issue. So we're still looking for some other design ideas. I know we kind of spitballed a few last week when Ed and Brad and everybody was on.
I've thought about it. It's warm here. Again, this summer has been a brutal summer for warmth.
Dave, we don't want to be censored. We don't want to be censored. Come on now.
Let's put the black X's on areas. I might lose some chest hairs, but
as long as you recorded the sounds of you taking off the tape afterwards, then I guess that would be okay. But yeah, no, we're still looking for some design ideas. We want to present at least a few before we kind of open up the floodgates, so to speak. Not that we're expecting 50 orders or anything along those lines. I think Haley may kill us if that were the case. But it is be creative. Nothing's off limits. Okay, some things may be off limits, but I at least want to throw it out there that as long as it's not offensive, I guess. It doesn't have to be politically correct, but let's not be offensive. Even though we can do that on our own from time to time. But that's not the brand really that you want to present moving forward, if everybody knows what I mean. So that's still out there. Reach out to either one of us on Instagram would probably be the easiest way to get us. or throw a comment on one of Dave's videos, because Dave's pretty much the only one who's making videos these days. Only because, well, in the words of some people, you know, my one pickup or a few pickups every few months or whatever, I'm not a collector anymore. But I digress. Anyways, so that's still out there. Thank you to the few new subscribers that we got. We're now up to 49 subscribers, which, you know, is cool in itself. You know, we're not looking to go big time to where we have, you know, 1,000 plus subscribers or anything along those lines. I don't think Dave and I could handle the chat. We'd be forced to start having some admins in the chat, because there's no way in hell we could keep up with all of it.
No.
But, you know, the channel keeps growing. The core group keeps growing, which, you know, really puts a smile on my face. I don't want to speak for you, Dave, but, you know, this is exactly what we were hoping for, the organic growth. And, you know, let's keep it coming. Bring in more people to the IRP family, get more people involved with the chat, providing suggestions for future shows, asking questions, interacting with each other, and, you know, forming those friendships outside of, you know, there you go, Foxy, exactly. Outside of here, you know, hopefully you guys find ways to interact with each other outside of the podcast, whether it be through Instagram, text message, whatever. That's kind of what we're hoping for. You know, I've said it before and I'll say it again. We never expected it to be where it is today. And it's because of you guys. And that's not bullshit. That's not me, you know, some corporate guy on the backside sitting there, you know, filling you full of crap. It's honest and sincere, and we stand behind every show from a closing perspective, to where we do reach out to you guys from time to time to check up on you, make sure all is well. I don't want to say it's a lifestyle, because that almost sounds kind of cheesy, but, you know, we take that mantra to heart. And like Dave said, there's a lot of people who say it, but it's not sincere. I don't think it's fully sincere. Some of them may be, but for the most part, I don't think it's legitimate. That's my opinion. Others can disagree with me, but, you know, because I don't see it. I don't see what those interactions look like. And not saying that it isn't true. I mean, it could be. Dave and I don't know for sure. But, you know, we're going with our gut feeling on a lot of that. And, you know, we hope that what they're saying is, in fact, true. And it's not a bunch of crap. So, anyways, I digress. What's going on, Mike?
What's up, Mike? Yeah, when folks say they appreciate you, and you hear that in a video, there's a lot of that. It's a lot of the time it's because there was a deal consummated on camera. Funds went from one guy to another, cards went, some combination. It's not, hey man, how's your family? You don't hear that on a lot of these videos. Again, you don't need to go in a big diatribe and spiel. Thank you, Jason. It means a lot. But I mean, you don't have to go into like an in-depth on camera. Say everybody's good, daughter, son, whoever, they're in this grade, just had baseball season, just had football season, just had whatever. You might see that now because it seems like we've got lurkers in the distance that have cherry-picked some of our thoughts. And it shows up a couple weeks after we sort of make it known. And again, do that, but if I find something that I'm going to talk about, topic-wise, or I reference it in here, I will always notate where it was a aha moment. Jeremy's show, Baseball Collector, Carlos, Ziggy, wherever I see it, Mojo, wherever I see it, I will give proper credit. And that's one of the dominoes that isn't really seen as something that you need to do. I don't know how many people went to high school, but when you concocted a report, you had to notate where your sources or what your sources were. You couldn't just be like, I found this over at Joey Numbers' house. What the fuck is Joey Numbers? That's nothing to me. Was that out of a Newsweek? Was it out of Encyclopedia Britannica? Now I'm going to really date myself. Was that all like the microfiche in the library? Where was it at that you found it? Because you want to make the community stronger. You don't have to say, hey, go over there and watch this guy's show. If you don't like the person, I'm not going to sit there and say, go here. I'll notate the sources. You think, okay, man, I'll go over there. I'll see what it's about. You make that decision. I'm not.
We provide the information, but we provide the source of said information.
Yeah.
And it's really up to you.
Yeah, I don't think that's done enough where, again, Mojo Sports, where if you want national coverage, him and Baseball Collector, Mike, those were the two that seemed to put out a ton, along with Card Collector 2. A lot of good, I love long videos, a lot of videos, and I like to have them in order, lining up. There's a lot of stuff from the show, a lot of stuff after the show. I enjoy that. I don't care who puts it out. Some of the bigger names that I wasn't impressed with, I won't name because it's not something I was like, man, I really wanted to watch. I knew what the premise would be about. Lo and behold, it was basically that plus a lot of misinformation on said videos. Those folks, like you've talked about many a time, and I know you want to probably have a spinning back fist to like Vinny and I are temples, and you say don't watch. At the same time, I want to see, because there's so much, not slander, but just hobby slander going on, where it's like you don't have information right, you don't have it's like when you're listing something and there's a series of names in the list. Hashtag, what's the one? Nomad? No. Nomar. What's that word? No. What is it?
Really? You don't have to set me up. Wow. Just say it, Dave.
The nomenclature, I don't want to pay the fee. when you're
y'all are all past due anyways. Y'all are all in collections, so it doesn't matter anymore these days.
It's like Columbia House.
Now you dated yourself.
I was gonna say, just keep the hits keep on coming. It's when you don't do that, when you don't have the correct nomenclature for a card, you just say an RPA. There's no patch. It is a rookie, but it's an insert set. Sure, there's an auto on there, but then you say rookie auto, but it's a 2011 Upper Deck Ultimate Collection, the ripoff of the 97 Legends set they did. And you say that's a rookie year card for the guy that was drafted in 96, just because he's in his collegiate uniform. That's where I watch a lot of this stuff, because I'm like, and Vinny and I are the only ones that go back and forth. So I'm like, I don't want to throw this out in the main chat, because again, people are gonna be like, stop fucking watching it, you idiots. We've told you. It'll be like the Charlie Brown, like, you blockhead thing, when everybody in the room says it, and it's like, I get it. But when you have that power, when you have that draw, when you have the numbers of people watching you, I want a picture with you. I want this. I want that. I want to get that rub from being near you because you have some sort of, I don't know what it is, because I'd want to go the opposite direction.
You can call it stature.
The stature.
Misconceived stature.
Placing people on a pedestal that don't need to be anywhere near said pedestal. You have an inherent responsibility to give out factual and correct information, not just, again, the hobby buzzwords. Because I'm just going to flip through cards and this is this. No, everything is wrong. This is a game used Pat on the back, player Warren, but it has Super Bowl on there, so that means it's worth more. The fuck it does. If that's an actual Super Bowl game worn patch, that fucker's worth a ton, no matter who it is. Punter, kicker, long snapper, on up. It's frustrating. That's the one word I can say that pretty much all encompasses my rambling here. Just, it's a frustrating thing to have that in the hobby, and at some point we'll have an episode about another subject that I think Vinny and I have talked about a little bit. I know I'll talk to you at some point, and I know we did one episode somewhat about it, but at the same time, hearing a lot of the national talk, and then something there, I'm like, I don't believe it. I don't believe the viewpoint is at least my viewpoint. Again, whatever these other folks and their viewpoint, that's fine. The logical viewpoint through my crumpled up brain, I don't see it as such. What's up, Joe?
And Dave digresses.
And I digress.
Interesting diatribe there, Dave. There's a lot of things in which I definitely agree with across the board in a lot of instances. But, at the same time, we need to swing back to where we're supposed.
Sweet cherry.
Back to the topic at hand. Sometimes we do this, Foxy, for instance, this is only your second show. This sometimes happens. It just kind of depends on situation and circumstance, on what Dave was doing prior to us going live, usually. That's usually how it works, or something brought up in our group chat, that type of stuff. But, I will say it's an interesting topic. I myself also had to go back and, I stumbled across the placeholder, and I'm like, it's okay. This is an interesting topic. Could go a multitude of ways. Could instantly go in the gutter if we're not careful, I guess. But it's definitely something that I would venture to say nobody else has ever really talked about. And I've given you props in the past of, really thinking through a lot of things and coming up with some of the topics of discussion, because there are a lot of times in which we do talk about things that not everybody talks about or even thinks about. It could be a few back and forth type conversation points, but it's never a focal point. And, I will continue to give you props as it pertains to that, because I've never taken credit for any of the topics. Dave is the mastermind. Dave is the brains behind this operation. I'm just here along for the ride.
Which says a lot. Poor Jason. Need to see if we can get a JBB to come out of hiding, or Ed Bird.
Macaw!
Some Techno Bailey. Trying to think. Like I said, last week, maybe Glider Man. See if he can come to save the day. That go look that up, folks. If you are newer to YouTube, Glider Man, where the I is an exclamation mark. I still watch that video probably once every couple months, just the nonsense that was in that transpires.
I think I have one of the very few, if not the only, dual autograph of Glider Man and Edberg. Still in the YouTube collection. It has not gone anywhere, and it's in its own freaking magnetic. Just saying. I'll have to break it out. No, that wasn't Tube Traders, man. That was all on a decoy.
Ah, okay.
And I bought it. I don't remember what I paid for it, but I bought it. Remind me before you duck out, Foxy. I'll go grab it. Since I'm sitting outside, I can't very well go get it right now, and it's Yep, hand drawn decoy. What's going on, Brad? So yes, Dave, I'll let you kind of start off with where you wanted to go with the topic per se. And we'll go from there.
Carlos was mentioned many a time too. When he watches a video, he doesn't usually see, or he's not looking for exactly sort of things we may be looking for. He's sort of looking at that different angle. You have in the hobby, and it's just like any other social media thing, you want that popularity. That's fine. If that's something that fills up sort of that void or whatever, that makes you feel good, that's fine. I'm no problem with that. But when the trickle down effect you can see it plain as day. Go up to everybody standing around one of those ultra modern cases at National. Go up to the one that has a lot of stuff from the 90s, couple gems from the vintage years, and then some stuff from the last 10, 15 years. Who are you looking for? What are you looking for? You're going to have probably 10 to 12 names, 10 to 15 that are going to be all the same, with the rare off chance of a name sprinkled in there because they're said kid, said adult, whoever it may be. They collect them because that is the home team, per se, collegiate wise or pro wise. For me, that becomes the revolving door. You have every kid looking for LeBron, Kobe, Giannis, Luka,
Jordan.
I mean, how many times do you actually hear Larry Bird even? None. You hear Magic? None. You hear...
The other curmudgeon has arrived.
You don't hear... I don't know if I take this more quote-unquote personally, just because I've been steadfast in the guys I've collected, most of which have been absolute abomination.
Trash.
Abreu. Kerry Collins.
No, garbage fire. Toilet flower carts.
Value box. And I won't say it's a badge of honor, But when you collect someone and you stick with it through the ups, the downs, highs, lows, whatever the case may be, it's a sense of pride after a while. It's not, oh, I want to collect LeBron because stupid investor flipper clown says to, or the top 3 cards of the week, or here's my top card of the hour, go buy this card. The originality, the free thinking. Again, if you were in Cleveland and you're 12 when LeBron was playing, I get it. That'd be a guy you'd follow. I get that. If you're 12 right now and you're in Paducah, Kentucky, there's probably no reason why you should be like jonesing after LeBron unless that's all you're watching on YouTube is the folks, or you're seeing on Instagram or TikTok or Twitter or whatever. That's all you're hearing, LeBron or Luka. I get the home team. I get the regional love. You can do that. You can do whatever you want per se. But I'm just saying this is where my hobby angst. That is correct. Or the angst kicks in and the curmudgeon comes out is when, instead of saying, man, you know what? I'm in Minnesota. I want to collect Thielen. He's a good dude off the field, good player. Hell, Wentz, Trey Lance, Easton Stick, North Dakota State, they're right there. They're a solid team. Tyler Johnson, Rashad Bateman, the Gophs. Follow these guys. Then, as you follow them, that your spectrum for following teams widens. You're not just, oh, I'm a Patriots guy. That's all I want is Patriots. Well, where'd this guy come from? I don't care. He's a Patriots now. The team collectors are great. College collectors great. When you start washing that away with influencers constantly in the sphere of, well, top 10 players to collect, these guys. That's it. Well, listen to the guy that's saying that, or the gal. What's their viewpoint on it? Is it financial, or is it they're big fans of the guy or the gal or whoever it may be for a long period of time? It's mostly financial. If that's the way you want to do this hobby, is purely financial, I'll push you off a cliff. I don't need you here. A lot of us don't need you here. It's great that you're breaking 8 billion cases. Congratulations. Barry Horowitz yourself. That's all. When you actually start planting the seeds and roots form in the hobby, get away from, you still can have your little niche. Oh man, this is I had a bunch of good deals only several years ago. I was able to capitalize on that. But I like the card. I thought there's some upside for the players, and I like the team. I wasn't investing for $610,000 in Nikola Jokic cards because I thought he'd be something someday. I like the Denver Nuggets. That's their uniform from the 80s has one of the best logos of all time on it, and Fat Lever was amazing. But now it's like why do you like the player? You hear this in every national video, every card show video with these kids that are in that 10, 11 to 15-year-old range. Why do you like this player? Oh, he's sick. Is he in the hospital, or what's that mean? Does he have lupus? I don't know. He's sick. What do you what? It's it's an all-encompassing problem. Again, we'll have people that naysay this, or we don't want to deal with negativity. Well, then you're doing a disservice to the hobby, because there is negativity in every sense of life, even our fun hobby. It sucks. Part of life. You'd want to teach these kids, you want to teach some of the younger fellas and ladies, like, hey, you don't have to collect the biggest names, get one card a show, and that's the way your collecting can go. You don't have to collect like me and have 83 warehouses full of every player ever known and players that don't even exist yet. There can be a middle ground where you don't have to sit there and it's an arms race, literally. Well, that guy got a PSA 9 refractor LeBron Topps Chrome. Well, I got the BGS 9.5, and then somebody's like, well, I'm going to get the PSA 10. Shut up. Capital of Thailand, Bangkok, nobody cares. Where you're constantly trying to keep up with the Joneses, and you want likes, you want subscribers, you want interactions, but how genuine are those interactions? Everything's hollow. And that's the problem. Again, if folks can or want to live that way, that's fine. Bobby says it best here. Hate how the influential influencers influence others. Because those top 5 videos should not dictate your collecting. You're not collecting then. I wish Crypto Grifter was here, because he'd tell us that you're a sheep. You're in a herd of sheep then. If you've collected Brady from day one, if you've collected Brady from day one as a starter, if you've collected Brady day one Super Bowl champ, I get that. If you've collected Brady day one Tampa Bay Buccaneer, I don't get that. Unless you're a Tampa Bay collector and you want to pick up a couple base cards or whatever. But to constantly summon the powers of social media as your blueprint, as your roadmap in this hobby, and think that you're going to have meaningful conversations that are not in the kiddie pool. You're not going to just have like a, man, I appreciate you. You paid me $2,000 for this card. Now I appreciate you. I mean, some people are like Brad. I mean, they are just iconic legends that can corral all walks of life for the benefit of others. But a lot of the time, there's not that pull. Brad's a unique individual. I'm sure he's heard it before. He can do things that most can't. But the appreciation he has for people, that's genuine. We've all seen it on here. The appreciation others have for him, I'm still 50-50 on that. I can't decide. I flipped the pancake, it landed on its side. I'm stuck. I don't know what to do. But when you're sitting there, I post a card asking hypotheticals and such. It's like, post the information about, and this is me just being a dickhead in my, like, I won't say closed world, but this is when I post stuff. I'm not telling you how to post anywhere. When I post on like Instagram, I'm telling you what the card is. If there's a deep-seated story behind it, I will ramble like I am doing right now. If it's just a card I like, I will give you some information about it, maybe some pack pull odds if they're available, hashtag it to death, and then move on. I won't ask, like, what's your favorite about this? The conversations I get, that we get, are mostly organic. Ebb and flow through a series of conversations, of questions, of experiences. You're not grasping at straws. Hypothetical questions are quite possibly some of the worst of all time. I mean, I don't ask Vinny, oh man, what would it be like if, like, Lemieux, Gretzky, Howe, Rocket Richard, Ovechkin, Connor McDavid all had on-card auto together. Oh, that'd be great. Well, no shit, Chris Farley. That's interviewing Paul McCartney on Saturday Night Live. That no shit. It would be great, but it can't happen.
And I can't afford it, so.
Yeah, so the point is what we call moot. So, in your head, I've thought about things like that too, but I don't sit there and ask the crowd. I'm not the Harry Carey. I'm not Will Ferrell from Saturday Night Live. Hey, what's in a hot dog? What kind of meat is there? Well, no, the hypotheticals go with the information that's placed before you. Look at what you have and then make that judgment, critique, the excitement you get from that. Again, the topic was, I won't say the greatest to begin with, but I knew nobody else would talk about it, probably because nobody else would even think about it. But at the same time, just the want for others to want to belong. Be your true self in the hobby. As we've said in life too, you'll have people that hate you. You'll have people that come and go. Most of the time, if you're a decent enough person, there will be a core of something around you. And it won't be like a rotten apple core. You'll have probably some people around you that have a lot of the like-minded beliefs, or at least you can talk to in some depth, where it isn't just cards, it isn't just one subject. You can talk about that subject for hours, but like collecting, conversations can also zig and zag. So I'll try to get off now so I can just put my drink in.
Let Vinny say something outside of he can't afford something, which we always hear that anyways.
To be honest.
Much love, Vinny. Much love. You know this.
I just have one question for Dave. How the heck do you know Joey numbers? Apparently he's a mutual friend. Anyhow.
That's all you got to say, Vinny? Really? Were you not prepared, sir? How dare you? You are officially barred from going on live with the IRP. You're done.
Are you gonna order a code red now?
Yes. Yes.
No, just for the love of the Lord, just collect what you want and forget what anybody else says. Who cares?
What's up, Joey?
You know,
It's about everybody.
I can't argue against that. You know, Dave went on this long diatribe, but I think you nailed it though. In the end, really.
I'm a simple-headed man. You ask the better half; she'll let you know how simple I am. And it's thank you, but I watched Mario get drafted. I watched Stevie Eiserman get drafted. I watched them my whole life. Those are the guys I collect. I love Ovechkin. Crosby's all right in my book. I like Crosby, but he's not My Penguin was always Lemieux. That was my captain. Yager, that was my captain. That's how I. But then when it came to Crosby, I was middle ground of the guy. I like Malkin better than Crosby. It's just personal preference. Do I deny the talent of Crosby? No. Is he a fantastic player? Yes. Do I have cards of Crosby? Yes. But my point is, it's not something I go actively out and pursue because it's not in my personal collecting world. And I think people have to stop saying, well, it's your PC. No, that's your inventory. If you're a mover and a shaker and you're making deals, you need to discern the two. Is this your collection or is this your inventory? Because most collectors I know aren't moving their collection. They're moving doubles, triples, stuff they picked up as trade bait, that kind of stuff. So you need to discern what you're talking about. I mean, it's fine to have both. It's fine to flip. It's fine to do anything. But the definition of what you're doing, if you have no personal collection, then that's your thing and more power to you. But the nomenclature used has to be correct.
Those bills just keep getting bigger, guys.
It's in the mail.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
Permanent file 36, just like your Christmas package.
Before you dive any deeper, Vinny, Foxy, you still with us? I know you just posted something earlier, but I went ahead and I take that back. It's not a 1-on-1. It's a 0 of 0. Just for clarification's sake. Foxy, let me know you're still here. Give him a minute to give me a middle finger or a yes or go pound pavement. So this is why I bought it. Only some of us will remember what that top part actually stands for. Dave, you were around in those days. But that's why it's worth so much money. Right there. I've had this for over 10 years. And it was the best investment ever. This is worth more than anybody could possibly ever afford. That is correct, Foxy. But it's the worst card source. But that's what it stemmed from. But yeah, I've had that forever. And it's the only way this would leave is if Ed reached out to me and said, hey, can I have that back? That'd be the only way it would leave. Other than that, it's not going anywhere. But I know Dave remembers things very well. Anyway, sorry, Benny, go ahead and finish. Sorry, I had mentioned it before you joined, and I had a moment to step away when you did join to go grab it. I didn't want to leave the show without fulfilling my obligation of showing Foxy.
Nah, I think that's about it. I mean, like Dave said, it gets frustrating when you have an audience of all those people. Preach the good stuff. Don't preach the, hey, you should buy X, Y, and Z card because secretly I have 1,000 of them and now I'm going to sell them to all of you. You know, whether that's their gimmick or not, I don't know. But it seems like truth and honesty goes a long way with it. when you're talking about the hobby.
Mm-hmm.
And pick the stuff you want, give tips, give advice, give thoughts, give opinions.
Mm-hmm.
Don't dictate.
Mm-hmm.
Don't say, these are my 5, okay? And data's good. You know, all these people, if you want to use people's stuff to give data, more power to you. Again, data is data. Subsets are subsets of data. You can make data say anything you want, given the range of the data. Find out what you want to collect, who you want to collect, and go from there. I use the 50 tabs I have open up here to research stuff. If it's available to me, I'm going to use it. Trading card database, COMC, eBay, all the major sellers on Wax, Amazon, 130 Point, Cardboard Connection. I got them all open here. If I want to figure something out, if not, I got my Beckett sitting down there. But it doesn't do the newer stuff, so I'll go on Cardboard Connection and figure it out.
Or you can text people.
I phone a friend, and I do that frequently to often. What do you think about this? Do you think this is good? Do you think it's bad, or it's indifferent? Then there's those times where an artist-proof dealer version pops up, and you have no time. And as you're typing, you're like, do I type them or do I buy it? I'm just going to bite the bullet and buy it. And he clings to me. I do work. I work a lot.
Bullshit. Damn, what is up with all these damn things going on? I think my wife's in the background, listening to the conversation.
I think those insects that are saying that are like those mosquitoes. They're big and full of it.
So I'm guessing I probably should have taken pictures of said mosquitoes down in Surfside Beach, because people are probably thinking I'm exaggerating. But those damn things would carry you off.
One of them came in here the other night. He was huge, or she, or it, or whatever. I don't want to offend it. So,
if they're biting, they're females.
Well, this thing was the biggest mosquito I've ever seen, and it was huge. And she's come running out, and she says, "It's a mosquito, but it's like a spider. It's huge." I'm like, "Wow, that is a big mosquito." That thing was huge, and it probably could carry off a small dog. And I have a small dog, so I had to shoo it out the door.
Why didn't you kill it?
I don't know.
Yeah, that's a state bird up here.
Well, I'm beginning. I could understand it in certain areas. I mean, we have mosquitoes; they get bad from time to time. It's not uncommon here, but to experience what we did down in Surfside was like mosquitoes on steroids. It was. Normally, I can get away without putting bug spray on here.
Mm-hmm.
Down there, it's not an exaggeration. They land on you. Usually you can do one of these and they'll usually fly away type situation. Oh no. These guys weren't moving. The only way you got rid of them is if you killed them. I have never in my life had to put on so much bug spray when going downstairs and then walking to the beach in the evening, sunset, and then through the night. It was crazy. But, since we're talking about bugs, influencers, bugs, kind of the same comparison.
Pests.
Pests. Yeah, there you go. Unfortunately, you can't always shoo them away. They have their place, but, at the end of the day, something that we've all said in multiple episodes and just in conversation, at the end of the day, do this for yourself. Don't do it for anybody else other than yourself. You know, post your pictures on Instagram for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Make your videos for yourself. You know, use the medium to build the friendships, but do it because you want to, not because you're trying to get recognition or thumbs up or likes or subscribers. You know, all of that in the end is irrelevant at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
Because 9 times out of 10, the minute you stop making videos or posting on Instagram or texting with people, most people aren't going to reach out to you and find out what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
They're not. This is going to sound harsh, but you're irrelevant.
Yep.
In a lot of sense of the word. But I post stuff. I make videos for me. It's a history for me. I do it to share with my friends, of course. But even if I don't get a thumbs up or I don't get a comment or a like, it's not going to hurt my feelings at all. I'm not going to sit there and be like, hey, did you miss my video, or did you not catch my post, and be like, well, what the hell? No. Because it really is a history for me.
Mm-hmm.
It's that running. What's the word that you use, Vinny? Come on, help me out here.
I use a lot of words.
As it pertains to your
Hands.
collection. As it pertains to your collection. What do you tell C all the time?
Oh, it's like a museum.
Thank you.
It's a history of the sport. It's a history of our lives. You have a binder full of cards. Where were you when we did this? What did we do? Hey, that's the summer we did this. That's the summer we moved. That's the summer where I played softball and I won a championship. Everything comes together with the memory. That's...
Yep. You knew that was coming, Vinny.
I know.
Just accept it. Just accept it. And she's giving you crap.
I know she is.
And she's going to keep giving you crap, but she also will sit there and sit back and be like, you know, it's a good thing that Vinny has found these people to, you know, share the hobby, but also build relationships. You know, and I know she's probably not going to put it in writing here, because heaven forbid we go back and prove something, but she knows damn right that what I'm saying is accurate, because I've witnessed it on multitude occasions. So don't do it, better half. Don't do it.
She does have a heart, despite what she says. It's quite large.
She's tough as nails, and I get it. She's got to be, and what she does for a living, she's got to be. But you know, she's, like you said, she's got a heart as big as gold, and as much crap as she gives you, and even me for that matter, I probably get just as much crap as you do sometimes. Mm-hmm. It's all out of love and appreciation, and you know that's what makes all of this worthwhile in the end.
She's the yin to my yang. I'm the quiet, and it takes a lot for me to glow red and Hulk out. But she's the Hulk, and she turns into David Banner. I'm David Banner, I turn into the Hulk. So I just compared you to a big green thing, but I'm sure I'll get something for that later on. But
not for you guys, nothing. You are so full of crap. You were so full of crap. I love you, better half. I do, and you know I do. But sometimes you were full of crap, and I'm waiting for her to like somehow sneak into your room there and smack you upside the back of the head and be like, "Okay, send that to Steven."
No, she'll just do that at a later time.
Yeah, when nobody's watching.
Exactly. Evidence.
Well, we never said she isn't a fool. We never once said she
No.
was that.
No. She watches all them Dateline NBC things where the husband goes missing and all that. She just watches it way too often. So I'm not giving her the opportunity to see how that would play out.
Oh, my wife has a shirt that says, I don't know the exact phrase, but it's like, I watch too many crime shows. They'll never find your body.
Pretty much it.
I have to remind her, though, it's like I've watched the same shows, but we've watched them together.
It's like yesterday. I come up the steps. I got like 15 minutes to eat. I'm standing there. She gets a cold bottle of water and she puts it behind my shirt. And me, I just stood there because I wouldn't give her the satisfaction. And then she quietly unscrewed the cap and went, poof, and I'm covered in ice cold water. Most people would freak out. Just another day in the life, as they say, as all these guys and gals and people say, just another day in the life in a hobby, man. It's another day in the life in a hobby.
See, if my wife did that, she'd be looking over her shoulder because payback is a bitch. Because she knows I'd get her back.
See, I'm not the big. I got two switches. It's like I said, it's either David Banner or the Hulk, and I don't Hulk out over much.
I didn't say I need to Hulk out over it. Payback is a bitch.
Well, my problem is I have no gray area. It's either A or B, and I that's why I just keep myself calm and funny. And
we need to work on that. Her
favorite saying is she'll come up to 2 inches from you and she'll poke you and she'll go, "What's wrong? What's wrong? You're what's wrong. You're driving me insane."
My wife does that too.
Oh.
Them's be fighting words.
Yeah.
So Dave, I know you went on a long diatribe. Vinny put in his, 2 cents, 1.5 cents. He pretty much summed it up in one sentence, really. I really have nothing more to add to it because, I'm 100% in alignment with everything that's been said as it pertains to that. It's like Vinny said, at the end of the day, pretty much do you. Don't do it for anybody else. Just do it for you. Do it for the enjoyment. Do it for the whole reason why you got into the hobby in the first place. It's not a popularity contest. It never was. It never should be. It's great to try and be liked by everybody, but let me tell you, that don't work.
Yeah.
Plus, it's very hard work, and it's not worth your time and effort. And that's speaking from experience. We won't go into details, but that's speaking from experience. Dave, there's a certain part that I think you would agree with that, though, too, to a certain degree. Early on, back in the day.
Yeah, you're going to, and this, I won't say pertains too much to the early things you speak of from your vantage point, but I guarantee it is 100% more exhausting trying to be liked by everybody than being your genuine self and being hated by a percentage of people.
Well, and
100%, because you always are, you're in eggshells. You have to say everything right on video if you do YouTube, or if you're Instagram Live or your TikTok or whatever the case may be. Every post has to be pretty much proofread like 3 or 4 times before you can put anything there, because everything has to be literally toilet flower, unicorns, rainbows. It has to be perfect. It has to be harmonious with everything in the universe. And that is not a life that any of us here, if you happen to stumble across this in the archive, nobody lives that harmonious of a life. Art can be that escape from whatever doldrums darker moments you have. We all know that. Sometimes that's not even enough to pull us out. But to always want to be liked, I've never understood that. I mean, I know it's a shock for me to actually speak those words and you guys to hear it, because I mean, you'd think otherwise, but be your true self. The old adage of collect what you love what you collect. If you're gonna watch some of these videos that Vinny and I watch and we want to punch everything in like a 20-foot radius, just take what they're saying, listen to it, and say, well, I don't want to be like that asshole. That guy's a jack-off. Nobody cares about him. He's faker than a $3 bill. So but you want to listen to hear what they're saying, because the misinformation flows like a river, the Colorado River. And when you post stuff, post because you want to.
Yep.
That was one where I was like, man, I want to post one post a day on Instagram. And it was like after a week, I'm like, I don't want to post a day, because I'm like, I like showing stuff off, but I don't want to show everything off. A magician teaches his apprentice most of the tricks he knows. He doesn't teach him everything he knows if the magician still wants to have either staying power, either wants to have that knowledge to share with everyone else, or relevancy. I don't want any of that. I just want to make sure that some of the stuff that I like stays close to the chest, that lapel, that inside pocket, right there, right next to my Bible. So
but that's also why I've always said, be careful who you let into your inner sanctum.
Yeah.
When it comes to your collection, that's yours. Choose wisely what you choose to share. Not everybody has to know everything.
Mm-hmm.
If you choose to do that, then that's your choice. I'm not faulting you if that's what you choose to do. But me personally, I am very careful with who I let into my inner sanctum as it pertains to the full extent of my collection. There are a small handful of people know the extent. I talk about a lot of stuff, but have any of you seen it? Most of you have not. There has been a small handful of people who have seen some of what I have talked about. And that's just my personal stance on things. It's not that I'm afraid somebody's going to pull up at my front doorstep and like freaking break in my door. I mean, it's nothing that extensive by any stretch of the imagination. I mean, it's not worth millions of dollars. But potentially, allegedly. But, it's one of those in which I don't want to share everything. That may sound harsh. It's not that I don't trust people. I'm very selective of who I bring in to that aspect of my collection. I know Dave does the same thing. I know Vinny does the same thing. I can't speak for anybody else, but I know at least the three of us that are on camera right now, that is the case.
Mm-hmm.
Be selective. Because, it's one of those in which, to a degree, you just don't ever know.
I found a Pikachu.
Yes, you did. With the baby Pikachu. So,
Good night.
Good night.
You just came to visit.
Can you just stay a minute? Yeah, you can stay a minute.
You've been on this thing for 1 hour, 14 and 50.
8. Yeah,
No.
1 hour and 15 minutes.
Vinny hasn't. He has not been on that long. The show has been on that long. Clarify now, Vinny. Clarify.
Plenty of stuff you can see on Instagram. I've got a ton of posts. You know what I collect. It's if you watched any YouTube video over the years, I've shown most stuff. Do I still have some? Do I still have all? I don't know.
You got 2 Pikachus.
But at the same time, a lot of those ones could have more likes because I didn't post any hashtags. That's more the darker times. I just want to put cards up. I felt that when it starts to feel unauthentic and it feels like a job, you're like some social media coordinator. If we got to get these posts out, we got to generate some views, and no, I don't. Another Vinny says museum. I say a timeline. It's a nice timeline for, and it's not going to be a complete one because again, YouTube wasn't around when we were starting.
Right.
But when we found YouTube, and I wish I would have got in 2009, which was a year or whatever before. May 2010 or so, but it shows, okay, this is what I collected then, this is what I collect there. It shows Naomi.
Bye, guys.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night. Thank you.
So
Those are always enjoyable.
Have a good
So-
night, everyone.
YouTube.
You too.
Shut the light off. Shut the light off.
We hear
Thank
you,
you.
Vinny.
I
You're
know.
welcome.
I said shut the light off.
I know. We heard you.
I don't know the power, as my dad would say. I don't know the power company.
So, Joey, and that's the thing. It's, I'm speaking from, my perspective. There's nothing wrong if that's what you want to do. Everybody has their reasons.
Mhm.
Hashtag reasons, for reasons, whatever those may be. And from that perspective, there's no wrong in that aspect either. I'm speaking from me personally. Now we're getting echo now, Vinny, by the way. I hear me talking. But there's nothing wrong with that either. To each their own. If that's what anybody wants to do, by all means, they have every right to do so, and nobody should be able to tell them otherwise.
And I know.
Sorry, Dave.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. My diatribe has to do with it's my personal opinion of what I think people should do,
Mhm.
but that doesn't mean anybody has to follow what my opinion is either.
Mhm.
My opinion is not right over anybody else's by any stretch of the imagination. But from my personal experience, I find that that's the way that I choose to feel. And on the flip side, LA Pats, this may come as a shock. I was a fan of the Patriots in the Bledsoe years. I loved Drew Bledsoe. I loved Ben Coates. I loved Curtis Martin. So one of my I'll call it a childhood, even though it really wasn't. 93. It's not like that was. I was a freshman in high school, and I still have it in the back of my mind is to collect every Bledsoe rookie and insert, or I should say rookie parallel, but I'll call it specific insert rookie parallel of Bledsoe from 93. I still have it in the back of my mind. I still have all my Bledsoes. There was a time in which I thought about sending them all to Dave, and I'm like, no.
Like, no,
This
he
was-
doesn't.
No, it's not that. it's one of those of which I may have some that you don't. Highly unlikely, but it's possible. But I still have that in the back of my mind. At some point, I'll circle back to it and try and quote unquote mark it off the bucket list, because that was a goal, that was an objective. Whether I went to a card show, whether I was pulling it in packs, whether I was buying it from the card shop, the few trades that I made. So, and the list I believe is fairly small. I don't think that there's many rookies that I don't have. Now, the rookie inserts may be where I have a few more gaps. But of course, Dave has one that's always been on the top of my list, and I hate him to this day for it because he pretty much stole that card. And it's not a search I do frequently.
Mm-hmm.
But Dave as a Bledsoe collector, and knowing that it was on his list as well, and he finally was able to acquire it, of course, I was happy for him. So it's on my list. That's probably outside of the Terrell Davis collection. I'll go ahead and give you my top two cards that really I have sat atop my other collections for some time. Dave, I'll give you the honors to do the Bledsoe. But the other one for the Broncos auto collection, or the Broncos auto PC, is a Peyton Manning in the Broncos uniform. That is still on my list. It has been on my list, and I haven't found one that just speaks to me to where it's like, okay, that's the one that I want. That's the one I have to go after type situation. The only qualification, at least from my perspective, is it has to be on card. And as long as it's a Peyton Manning Bronco auto in a Broncos jersey, I'm fine. That will mark it off my list. I've seen a lot of nice patches, but it's like, to me, you pay the premium when it comes to patch autos. So, and then Dave, I'll give you the limelight to talk about the Bledsoe, because you know exactly which one I'm talking about.
It's the wild card 5 stripe. It's very, very rare.
No, that's not it.
Pinnacle 93 rookies. 20 card set. Some banger names like Irv Smith. He's in there. God, who was the Notre Dame running back too? I want to say drafted by the Redskins, and I can't remember who it was. Natron Means is in there. Myers in there.
That is.
But Bledsoe. That was the card. You had that and the SP. The SP is, I won't say cratered, but it's come way down. It used to be that 120 forever. It was like that 80 to 120 book value. This thing still books. I don't even know. Last time I looked, it must have been like that 80, 60 to 100, because it's still such a tough card to come across, and it's got a lot of issues. There's a lot of like the bubbling on the Dufix. So
Yep.
It is such a nice card. I got mine, I think, for like 25 chip. I really cheap that I thought was cool. It might have been even cheaper, but
No, that sounds about right, Dave.
They're insane. Again, that'll be a topic for another day, but it brings you back. It brings you back to when you first saw it. You're like, what the hell's that? What do we got going on here? And I love them. I mean, I've thought about buying complete sets, spending like 100, 120 on it, just because going on, Tom? Matt, Tomcat, Matt. It's a set that, again, you had, I think, like a baseball, Cooperstown set, maybe like a boxed set, but that was a box set. That was like a $20 SRP, $19.99 or whatever, $29. These inserts were, and I don't believe they were notated as such, just the rookies or Pinnacle rookies. That was it. There's not one per box because that was never that. You didn't see them that often. I'd say more in the lines of like a case hit.
Yep.
Because if you saw one, and I remember the Irv Smith because my buddy that collected Terry Glenn, Keyshawn, and Bledsoe back then, and Curtis Martin, he had went out to Vegas, I think like Christmas of '96, for like a family vacation for like 4 or 5 days, and he went to one of the card shops out there, a huge one. It was almost like akin to what a Burbank would have been. He's like, you wouldn't believe how many cards they had. You would have spent all day. I'm like, well, thanks for telling me at the age of 16 that this thing is actually out there, that I'm not going to be jealous. This is correct, Alan. Good seeing you, my friend. But he had picked up the Irv Smith for like $15-20, and that's Irv Smith. It's a tight end for the Saints. And again, the Saints at the time were sort of that semi up and coming type team. They had a solid defense. The offensive pieces were, I think, I don't know if Chris Everett, Jim Everett was there, but you had, it's like, okay, they're ready to take the next step backwards, because then they flatlined again, and the field mouse went to the Panthers in the expansion draft or free agency, and then that was it. It was a set that I would use the word iconic, because so many of us, that was sort of our introduction to Doofus. And when you have those introductions, no matter what the current market value, the card ladder, market movers, whatever it is, those numbers don't matter. When you introduce something that grabs your attention, and 28 years later, it still is grabbing your attention, like a kid in a candy store pulling on one of his parents' arms, like, let's go over here, let's go over here. You see that Doofus over there, and it's like, kid, I'm pushing you out of the way to get to that Doofus before you. You don't have to tug on my shirt sleeve. You don't worry about that. You got dad here. It's steamroller time. I need the women and children and the men, because I don't care who it is. I'm Doofus. I'm coming for you. But it was such a key set, and it wasn't just like that one year and people like, I like it, and the next year comes along, Fleer rookie sensations. It was that key set. They tried to replicate it, they really couldn't, because it was just the odds of like, man, I can't find them in those jumbo boxes. There aren't one per box, like everything else is like sort of seeded. I don't know if that was sort of like them trying to make the Donruss Elite without the serial numbering then. And sort of that seeding of, you don't know what they're at. They're in there, though. They're jumbos only. But you remember that stuff because it was such a big play on collecting at that time for you. So I'm hoping you come across it. I know I'd seen a couple others go, and I think they were in like the $38 to like $42, $45 range. And at some point, I wouldn't even mind getting a slabbed one just to have just like an 8. I don't care. I mean, it's just to have it in there because, again, that Doofus is, it's just amazing.
Yeah, I consider just buying the set because, just buying the Bledsoe alone can, put you in the 40 to 60 range, depending on condition a lot of the times, because there's still nostalgia value there.
Mm-hmm.
And then, buying the set for, $100-$120. The only problem is for me is, okay, I'd buy it for the Bledsoe, take the Bledsoe out, put it with all the other Bledsoes, and then here I missing the Bledsoe in the set. So I'd almost be better off buying the Bledsoe and then buying the set in that situation. But, it's one of those in which that I remember seeing that card multiple times. And, if given the situation back in 95 at the one card show in, where the hell was it? Now I can't even remember where the hell the town was, where I was at the card show. I would have probably traded for the 93 Pinnacle rookies if they had it over the SP.
Yeah.
But the SP was also one at the top of my list at the time. So I ended up with one of them. I still have it to this day. I have two actually these days. I have the one that belongs in my set, and then I have the one that came from that card show. But the 93 rookies or Pinnacle rookies wasn't an option, because I probably would have gone that route, or even tried to bundle both of them into the deal if I could have at that time.
Mm-hmm.
For the Dan Marino, what do they call them in 95, Dave? Was it like the milestones or something? I can't even remember.
The record breaker.
Thank you. Yeah, because it wasn't long after he broke the touchdown record, I think. Something along those lines. So
the thing was that year, or 94, he broke the record, so 95 was put out the cut.
But yeah, it's just the fact of the pack pull ratio for that card was huge. And like I said, that specific dealer already had the Montana, and he wanted the Marino to go with it, so he was willing to go strong. Good deals only. I definitely got the better end of that deal. Even to this day, I still got the better end of that deal. That deal has stood the test of time, I think, which I'm unsure if all of that is the case these days. But it has definitely stood the test of time. Oh, that's tough, man. That is tough. Oh yeah, I'm gonna have to think on that one, because so many come to mind.
It's like that time we talked about technology.
Yep.
There was never a lack of us coming up with stuff that night of inserts that changed the game. And I hearken back to this one, bad glare,
Elite Series.
This seeing the Lemieux in the box for $100 at the card shop in 90, 91. Get that card one day. That's a unicorn. We talk about the kid cards, the unicorn cards. This was a unicorn card, and then as time progresses, we've talked about it a dozen times. They change, but it's these kind of cards that mean something to you, that you could say 20 years from now, you can look at your kid and say, see this card right here? You know how many boxes of this stuff I opened? And I forget what year it was. So last year, Donruss, that Lemieux had a lead in it, and C and I are opening it, and I open a pack and I see something shiny, and I'm like, I got an elite card in here. She's like, what's that? I said, well, it's 1 in 10,000, which is not. She goes, well, that's not rare. Well, back then it was rare.
Mhm.
and I'm sliding and I'm sliding and I'm slow rolling, and it's Mario. I pulled an Elite Lemieux out of a box. She told me the next day, I never seen you so happy when you're pulling car of all the boxes we've ripped over the past 3 years at the time to get a card. I said, because I said to me and your uncles, that was the big card for us back then. I said to have that and know that I sat here with you when I was opening that pack. I said that's something that's going to be in this noggin for the rest of my days. You know, now that's a story. You know, that's the kind of stories. And going back to what the chat's saying, it's good to see everybody in this chat, old, new, whatever. Like you keep on talking, you've talked to me about this blog TV stuff. I wish I was there because I'd enjoyed the heck out of it. But we're living it now. And that's what's awesome about this. There's people in here I know, there's people I don't know. But that's the good thing. I mean, it's people I want to know for the next 30 years. That's what's the beauty about the IRP. It's everybody's coming together to just shoot the proverbial manure.
Yes. Keep the profanity to a minimum there, Vinny.
Yeah.
Hi, Vinny's dad, if you're
Yeah.
watching.
Vinny's brother's probably watching, and he'll report to said father. And
I'm still going to have to think on that, Joey. It's so many things come to mind. So many things come to mind. But I'll piggyback off of your story, though, Vinny. I've never pulled an auto of Terrell Davis. I've pulled inserts. I've pulled, parallels, those types of things. Not many. My favorite card that I ever pulled, honestly, as it pertains to Terrell Davis, was the 97 Topps Finest. What is it? Draft. Crap. What's the insert set name?
Draft Lab.
Thank you. Refractor of Curtis Martin, Terrell Davis. I still have it. Never had to buy it. I pulled it myself. But, that was one every 3 or 4 box pull, I think, if I'm not mistaken. 1 in 48, I think. Hell, it could have been 1 in 96. I don't remember.
I think it was 96, 1 in 96.
But anyways, outside of that, I did pull a triple jersey out of classics of Portis, Elway, and Terrell Davis. And I actually went with my old boss at the old place I used to work. There was a barbecue food or a barbecue joint up the road from where we worked. And in the back was a card shop. Go figure, right? And I bought a mini box of Donruss Classics 01 or 02. I can't remember what year it was specific. And that was my hit.
It have
Was
to
it
be
2?
Portis would have been a rookie then.
Okay, yep. So, because I know there's also a triple from there. He's in another triple, either an 01 or 03, though, too, with Mike Anderson.
That might have been 01 because Anderson would have been hot in 2000.
Correct, because 2000 was when he was drafted, because same year as Brady, Carlos's favorite player. But I digress. But the fact that was my one hit, and that's even before I was really hot and heavy into Terrell Davis.
Mm-hmm.
I like the guy. He brought home championships, and that really is what kind of started the wheels of, you know what? Yep, now it's time to go. Now it's time to dive deep. So at some point, I'm hoping in my illustrious card collecting career to go back and find some older stuff and actually pull a Terrell Davis autograph, even if I have it, just to say I actually pulled one. So, Dave, do you have an answer to Joey's question? Have you thought of anything?
I would say overall, and again, there's And you can sit here and say, well, I collect tick, tick, tick. 98, there's a bunch of stuff I like a lot. I don't think in those terms. I think what was one of the first besides, I'll go over all the sports because I collected. Anytime packs came out, I'd buy whatever I could. The first, and I was thinking Z teams, the first year Z team, that was one that, again, 1 in 72, and those cards were a ton when they came out. But I showed it in the video I did today, cheap plug. So it should be still over in this general vicinity. The one that I remember, because they were valuable and it was such a deep set, and being such an NFL nerd at that time, it was like, my God, you've got everybody in here. And the first few cards were the big names, and they were super high priced. What's going on, Paul? Would be and then that's the 94 playoff contenders back to back. And I said this in the video today. A lot of us had Beckett. I love Beckett. A lot of us had Sports Card Trader, Tough Stuff. The other magazine that I always, whenever I found it, because you couldn't find it all the time, was that Sports Cards, because everything was color. So when you look, they'd have a top 20 insert card list, a top 20 insert set list, a top 20 set, like base set list, and a top 20 base singles list. And then on the left, they'd have something from like a year ago, 2 years ago. It was usually a year, though. So it could have been like, oh, there's Greg Jeffries from whatever. He's going down because he's borderline GOAT, just above Tom Brady. When I saw these on there, you throw in the combinations. As I said, I think Montana Marino were on one. Favre Aikman, or Favre Bledsoe, then Aikman Young. What's some combo? I want to say Sanders and Emmett were on one, but I could be wrong. It could be like a Mario Bates. I said that again in the video, with one of them sneaking on there. But having the 75th anniversary photos on there, because if you look on both guys, not just the little symbol there, but if you look on his jersey, that's 75th anniversary, and same with Rhett over the football there. Those jerseys, as I said, that brought back the powder blue Chargers ones for good. I loved, like you, the Patriots, because Bledsoe's throwing 60 times a game to Coates and Sean Jefferson and Vincent Brisby, Dave Meggett out of the backfield. Even hating the Cowboys, that 75th anniversary jersey patch. Like, it even looks good on that stupid Silver Star garbage down in Dallas. Like, I like that. The foil, little embossed foil there to go with it, like the action packed. It just, everything, it hit, because you could get the Marino Montana that was booking at $250. You could hit Crystal Chandelier, Terrence Mathis, and pay $20. You could do so much with that set. And it was a deep set, and that's the one I've still, to this day, I'm tempted. I'm tempted to put it together because the Pinnacle rookies, that Zenith, all of the three sports that had Pinnacle Zenith, I'd even look at the NASCAR one because they've got, for NASCAR, they've got the Z team, and those are dirt cheap. I mean, Morgan Shepherd is like $3, and that's a Z team. It's the same card design as the three major sports. Kenny Schrader's in there, Darrell Waltrip. I mean, you've got names that are not just Schlubby Joseph over in the corner starting parks. You've got Hall of Famers in there. So if I had to probably pick, that would be it. But again, there's so many that, I mean, I could just sit there, and I know Vinny and I have talked for hours. Steve and I have talked for years about them. So and that's not even going into like the parallels. We're just going straight inserts. Not gold refractors, not embossed golds, not mirror golds, not 24 karat golds, not atomics, nothing. Inserts. And there's so much, like the Premier Padman would be another one. The gold medallions are just, that was the one when I came back in, the 94.5 set. Amazing, one per box. Checklist, it's got Richter, I think, in there. It gets peanuts. That 95-96 with the die cut admin in there. Remembering that, and again, that was 15, 20 years ago, or no, 25 years ago. Remembering that, I didn't have to look anything up. I'm like, I remember stuff through like 95, 96 really well. 96.7 fairly well. Then after that, I'm like, I know certain inserts here and there, parallels. But knowing the stuff that came along first, even those 1,000 stripes for wild card, if we're talking parallels, that would be something that was just like, I'll never see one of those. Do they even exist? So we could do a whole show just on that. We could have
yeah. I at least came up with a few.
yeah.
And it may surprise a few people. Team Pinnacle still to this day is one of my all-time favorite insert sets of all time across sports.
Mm-hmm.
I still have the one I pulled, I think from 93, if I'm not mistaken. And it's Michael Irvin, Eric Allen. Just a cool card design. I have I can't even remember what the damn year is, but you know, the one that is, it's Emmett and Terrell Davis. And I have all three variations, including the mirror. And I'm not including the mirrors as it pertains to even part of the insert set type nomenclature. So that's one from a football perspective that really sticks out and crosses multiple sports. The other one that comes to mind is Diamond Kings, when they actually became insert sets. 92 specifically. I opened a ton of Series 1 and Series 2. And, you know, it just something about it, you know, years prior, it was always part of the set. And I don't want to say they were cheaply done, but they look like they were cheaply done. When they actually became, that was going to be my last one too, Alan. When they did them in the insert set, they boosted it up. They looked clean. They just looked cool. Mm-hmm. And then, as Alan mentioned, Thunder and Lightning. Cool concept, cool design, cool pairings. Just the fact of the terminology that they use, Thunder and Lightning. You know, it big and speed. You know, you had the big guy and then the speed. You know, I mean, that's the whole focal point behind it. And from a basketball perspective, that's still a set I want to complete, and it's not very large either. I have 2 of the ones from the 1 year specific. I think it's 93, 94.
Yep.
So it's the 2 I have is Shaq and Penny, and then Jamal Mashburn, Jim Jackson. So, and I pulled both of those. So, Scoring Kings was a beautiful design set. That is, I've seen them, I've held them. I pulled a Patrick Ewing, if I'm not mistaken, years ago. But like we said, though, I mean, you can go multiple avenues. You can look at it at sport specific. You can look at it those that are transcendent from multiple sports. There are so many great insert sets that are out there that could be somebody's top. And I don't think that there's a person in here that could probably argue against anybody's number 1 selection. Mm-hmm. And that's the fun thing about it. And you could ask me that question next week, and I may come up with 3 more, just like Vinny may come up with more, or Dave could come up with more.
What's up, Ty? Beam Team, 92-93 because of Shaq.
Yep.
That's another one.
And then for hockey, I will give Jeremy credit for showing. I watched a little bit of his stuff on Saturday, showing off some of his cards, showing the Pinnacle Team B 91-92 Gretzky. Those were, like Don Wassili, they were impossible to pull. Where now, and I know when they did the rehash, Panini did the rehash of that. They came out with some of those cards in 12, 13, or 11, 12. Again, it's going to be something, unless you were ripping that product, you don't care about it, or it's something super tough. Yeah, I love those. I remember busting so much of that stuff. What year was that, Elliot Pats? That was 6-7 or 97, 98. I don't. And we'd almost have to do them by sport, then by 91 through 95, and then 96 through 99, and just because,
Rookie Sensations is another one.
Yeah, there's those team Bs. Those it's super basic, but at the time Studio came out, and then they had that but that was more of a Studio black and white picture from the game. It wasn't like the 92 Bowman graduation pictures. But still, I hear some of the newer collecting type folks when they're, this Rivera rookie looks cheesy. It was 92.
Those clear cuts?
Yes.
Clear shots.
Clear shots.
The hockey version.
I was going to say that, or the skylines. When you had the acetate with that rainbow faux Dufix sort of mirror platinum technology, that stuff was amazing.
Rising Stars is another one that comes to mind. Most notably the Pulsar variation, but what's that one, Vinny?
These are from 95, 96 Pinnacle by the numbers, and they're die cut. So the premium stock were the whole cards, but the regular cards were the jersey and they're die cut.
Gotcha.
So, you just don't see stuff like this anymore. And then there's Bob Lewis.
Yes. Speaking of not seeing things like this anymore.
Yeah.
Perfect introduction there, Vinny, without you realizing. Bob's
think
not
the-
lost.
I think that's a
No,
perpetual thing.
I'm
So
very
Bob,
lost.
so here's the question. So Joey posed a question,
Okay.
and we've all answered it. There's been a few that have mentioned things in the chat, and I'm going to be nice. I'm not going to leave it to just one. So we'll give you a few options, and then so Joey's question was, what is your favorite insert of all time?
Okay.
But it can only be one. So we've all mentioned a few because it's
Yeah.
very hard to just select one. But we've at least limited it to, like 3 or 4. And then we just started throwing out other ones. So, and it can be across sports. It can be an insert that crosses sports. It can be sport specific. There are no limitations when it comes to that. But your favorite insert set of all time. You can think on it for a while, unless you have something that comes like
I
straight to your
mean,
head.
the first one that comes to mind is the '92 Stadium Club Beam Team. Like, just for various reasons, it was the first. It was the first what I feel like chase insert set. And I would collect a lot of basketball back in the early '90s. So those '93, '94 Fleer Ultra Scoring Kings are amongst my favorites as well, with the lightning bolt in the background. Try to go through. I mean, yeah, I'm sure somebody's already mentioned like the '93 Donruss Elites. Those were because it's not just about the aesthetics of it. It's just when you finally got one, they seemed like a myth, So the story behind it, the cards is often pretty cool. The first insert set that I completed was was another Elite, but it was a '93-'94 Donruss Hockey. It was the first year for their hockey, and that was like the first big insert set that I completed, the Elite one, including the 5 update cards.
And you got that at a hockey game with your old man.
Wow.
And you had to hold it like this because you had no penny sleeves the whole ride home.
Make sure you stick it in the middle of the pack, and then it was like, don't set it down so the guy behind you is gonna spill his beer on it, or it was just, I couldn't enjoy the game at that point. Well, and just in that shack in the Beam Team, my parents and I or my mom, my sister, and I were coming back from Florida. My dad picked us up at the airport, and he brought my best friend at the time with to kind of surprise us, right? To surprise me. And he also had a box of Series 2 Stadium Club, and like no lie, in like the 3rd pack in, when you open those packs, the Beam Team was the back card, and it was so I saw, like, I opened the pack and saw like that, and I was just in my mind was right, it was insane. And so kind of the same deal, like riding all the way home from the airport back to West Virginia, like, don't let anything happen to that Beam Team. So, but geez, man, there's so many good ones. Yeah, let me think on it a little bit more rather than just sit up and take dead air.
No, you were good. You rattled off some pretty quick. Some of which were mentioned, whether it be by Dave or somebody in the chat. So it's kind of cool that a lot of people are thinking the same thing.
Do you got? I mean, can you just bring me up to date on what were some of the ones that people said, like more than once?
So
Dave,
Elite Series was one. So Vinny brought up Elite Series, and then Alan brought it up as well.
Yeah.
Team Pinnacle I had mentioned, and then Alan chimed in.
Oh, nice.
And he took away my Thunder and mentioned Skybox Thunder and Lightning.
When the Z Team, when Zenith came out, those was it the Z teams, not the Z Golds, but the Z teams, like all that Dufex, man, that was pretty phenomenal back. I still have I have an Aikman, I think, and I got a Barry Sanders.
That's one that Dave mentioned.
Yeah. You know what one I do like, but I never really got into it and opened them up. The ringleaders or the
Mhm.
ring at a stadium club.
Yep.
So much going on those cards too, and they're cheap.
Hmm.
Um,
Another one, the SP Hollowview die cuts from '94, and then '95 for hockey and football. But the '94 where you had the A-Rod rookie year, you
oh
had
yeah,
in there.
Bo Jackson.
Yeah, because I pulled the Bo Jackson regular, and I was
Nice.
like, oh my god, I'm like, holy crap, this is amazing.
My
But
A-Rod Blue is at PSA right now, so probably getting a 7. That's all right.
I still like the Pro Bowl from Upper Deck.
But did it have a hologram on it?
It's the one. It's the simple design. It's the one that actually has got the 2 players on it, but it's kind of like got the rainbow kind of action to it.
Hmm.
I can't remember what year that is, Dave. You and I have talked about it before, and for the life of me, I
'93.
is it '93?
Still, I don't even know how to describe it. But I remember it was in like a rookie standout for basketball, like a 1 per jumbo or 1 per locker room pack or whatever they were back in the day. It had that circle ovalish thing, sort of like the Pro Bowl in there with that, almost like a not etched foil, but some sort of foliage, and then like the refractor-ish finish. Because it showed like Thurman Thomas, Emmett Smith, and down like the middle, it sort of had like a Pro Bowl or whatever it was. Because 95 was the hologram, I think.
That sounds right, Dave. It's just it was a simple design, but it had eye appeal for whatever reason.
Yeah,
And I've always been partial to that set.
yeah. I think if that would have been the next, or that were to be the next direction to collect a good chunk of those sets, I mean, it'd be another 10 years. You could hammer even the stuff that I love, the Pinnacle. I don't know if it was the Pinnacle rookies. And I've said it before, and I said this at a card show
Oh,
with like Van Poppel and Nolan Ryan, Eddie Zosky and Cal Ripken, where you had a rookie / prospect and you had the veteran, like Sam Militello and I don't know if Roger Clemens, Barry Larkin, and whatever light hitting shortstop they could find. So I mean, it stuff that you didn't see as a kid was always stuff that was super appealing. The rookie sensations in '92 were I loved Chase, but guess what? I saw a bunch get pulled. So I mean, it wasn't like, oh my God, they're not around.
yeah.
I saw Plantier, I saw Pudge, Juan Guzman, Knobloch, Frank Thomas. I don't remember ever seeing. That was the one I always jonesed for because I was a big Thomas guy. But you saw him. You saw him at like the $30 or whatever it was.
Score Select had a rookies. There was a bunch of Dufects that I had the salmon out of that.
Well, they had the rookie of the year, quote unquote, what tribute cards, because Piazza has one too. So it might have been like,
yeah, he does.
because
They did like a stars set and then they did a rookies set.
they had I can see it. It's like a green border that's down and up, and it's Dufix, and then
Dominators.
No, this was. I think they were 1 a box, and then the Diamond Aces were like 1 in 2 boxes because it had that silver foil with like the picture in the middle of the diamond. Like Jack McDowell was in there, and I don't know if Kevin Apier, John Smiley. There's a lot of oddball. But if you're looking at the checklist now, you're like, who in the hell are these people? It's like, okay, there's Roger Clemens. Okay, I get that. And Randy Johnson might have been there, Maddox Glavin. But then you're like, all these other people, like, I don't know any of them. What the hell did they do?
Well, Stan Belinda at that time was a good pitcher.
Nice name drop.
What is it? Smoke and Heat. I think the '94 Fleer Smoke and Heat one is more of a foil board with that background of like the flames, and I think you only have just 6 cards. That 6 or 8. It's a real small
Which,
one.
so they, when the hot gloves, I never had a hot glove, but of any years, but I always, man, I think it's the 97s that actually have like the flame on it. Those were pretty sweet.
Yeah, those are the first
They
year. I
were
think.
hard to come by.
Yeah, the first year was like what, just a glove,
Just the glove, right?
and then I don't know if it was 90. That was 95 and 96. It was like the
These
foil,
ones are cool.
the leather foil.
The hitting machine with like the gear.
Oh yeah,
This isn't one of the expensive years, but it's still
Yeah, that
die
90
cuts were cool.
the 96 ones. I mean,
Yeah, I
I've
think
seen,
they're like they're horizontal, right?
and they've got just like the 2 gears side by side.
Yeah, what year is
I
this?
think I've got, who do I have?
97.
I have to look. I know I've got somebody in the collection somewhere, allegedly.
In one of your warehouses.
Yeah,
beat me to it, Bob. Beat me to it. You want to talk about Dufex too? Was the Dave? Did you ever see the biscuit in a basket
yes.
out of Pinnacle? So I put that set together. That one's beautiful.
Biscuit in a basket. I don't know that one.
Well, in a moment you will. Yeah, there's so much, and again, that gets before like all the stuff people like chase now, like that 97 when it starts 97, 98, 99, and when you start getting to like the ultra rare stuff, the serial number to 25 or the 100, and that stuff's great. I get it. And I chase that stuff too, but you put some of that other stuff down, those team pinnacles, the rookie team pinnacles, the stuff
So-
like that. Like, oh, you put those in like a dollar box. I'm not even looking at condition. I'm just buying them off the card being what it is alone. And then if I get something that's scuffed up or jacked up,
What's
I say,
the
well, it's not
closest
me.
thing to like rare inserts these days? Like the kabooms? I mean that are actually desirable.
Mhm.
Because usually it's just a parallel, a variation, a parallel that is the limited chase or that people want, like the tiger stripes or
Mhm.
snakeskin stuff.
That is biscuit in a basket.
Oh, I do have one of those. I don't know who it is, but I recognize that card.
Yeah,
Downtown would be one of the other ones. Yeah.
Yep.
Those color blasts or color.
Oh
bursts.
yeah, the color
Yeah.
bursts. Aren't they burst or color blast? I can't
Blasts,
remember. But
I
yeah,
think.
those are like
Color blasts,
those are super rare.
especially
Super
for
rare.
basketball.
Yeah.
But that biscuit in a basket, I started that the morning my grandmother passed away. So not to be morbid or anything, but that set there means something to me right there. I just look at it and that throws a bunch of memories in my head. And then there was hockey. We were talking about Beam Team. They did it in hockey eventually. So that's the year with Lemieux. It's not the Dave. I think there's another year that's a little bit more fancier. But
So
the-
Beam Team was across the 4 major sports.
yep.
It was not in football.
They
Football
never had
had
a football Beam Team?
that die cut, sort of like the. I
That-
think so. I'd have to look.
They had one. I have the Elway. It's like laser cut too. It's dang, I can't remember what they're called. Medalists, weren't they medalists or something?
Yep.
Another one. They had those. They had nightmares. God, I'm trying to think of 95 stuff.
Oh, that first year of the masks, Pinnacle masks, I have too. There's not too many big names in it. Grant Fuhr and Van Beesbrook, maybe, you know.
Belfort.
Belfour. Yeah, but they that was a cool set to have.
What I just showed was the hot numbers from Fleer Flair.
Yeah, the first year of Beam Team for football, which is why I don't consider it, was 2000. And then they also did it, from what I can tell, and this was just via a quick eBay search, was 2008. In 2008, they did it completely like a reprint of the 92, 93 basketball version.
Okay, I've seen those with modern players on them.
Not 4K.
Yep. And then 2000 almost kind of looks like its own thing, like its own design. I don't really know how to explain it.
I'll take the mic off. Cam off. I know I've got the Brodeur. So they're numbered to 500. I think across the board, baseball. I don't know basketball. They had them, but I know baseball, football, and hockey did. I mean, acetate and laser cut.
If I'm not mistaken, LA Pats, I think jambalaya, at least the term jambalaya, is specific to basketball.
It's in hockey.
Is it in hockey? I'm not. Are you talking? I'm not talking retro.
Oh, no, they're not. Because the first year of the jambalaya started in, well, it wasn't in Fleer Retro, it was in Fleer Ultra, but it was once Upper Deck bought Fleer, they brought in the jambalaya.
But later, much later, though.
It was in the 2000s.
It was like
Okay.
97, 98. The hell's that called? There's like a Z something for the skybox. Either Thunder.
Z-Force for
It might have
basketball.
been.
Z-Force.
It might have been that.
Yeah, football was Thunder, and wasn't baseball like Circa or something.
Yeah, Circa.
The EX 2000 had that insert that looked like a buzz saw. That's pretty sweet.
That's
The Edge.
yeah. Is that what it is, or is it a cut above?
Might
Cut
be a
above.
couple.
Yep, definitely. Yeah, I don't have any of those, but those are.
I have my TD.
Yeah, I don't know if Piazza or Tony Gwynn has one, but those would be the ones I would maybe look for.
Destination Honolulu is another one of my favorites.
That's so tough to find. Those are
Cut above. Yeah, there you go.
the Destination Honolulu. I don't even know if half the people out there have ever seen one.
I've never
No,
even
but
heard of it.
Oh, they're at least was it? Trying to think of what year Terrell Davis is in. I think he's in '98.
Yep.
I think, and they're like tiki
Wooden
tiki statues. Yep.
Yeah.
It's a cool design, and the tikis are all different. They're not the same, but they almost
really?
they feel almost like they're. It's almost like particle board, almost like a sliver of particle board. Almost, it's got like a wood quality to it.
Are those the buzzsaw type things you were talking about, Bob?
Yep.
So again, this is retro. Out of 12, 13 Fleer retro for hockey.
That's cool.
Those are the hot shots.
Vinny, what like rare inserts are out there of Lemieux that you haven't acquired yet that are ones that you look for? or are they like?
It's like the ring in the Lord of the Rings when Gandalf goes, "Keep it secret, keep it safe." For now, we'll keep them secret, keep them safe. But they're out there.
Okay.
As they say, that's a song for another time. But there's
So Bob, there's
Oh, yeah.
the destination Honolulu.
Yep.
That's pretty cool. Wow.
But
Those
they're
are-
all different. They're all different. And they're case hits.
Yep.
Huh.
Here's a case hit. I ordered some packs because I'm trying to. In 96, 97, they did a set for Topps and Fleer. It was called NHL Picks. So Topps had all the odd numbers to 180. Fleer had all the even numbers to 180. Lemieux, Yager, and Yzerman were in your Topps. Fleer had your Gretzky, and I think Hall and Messier. So this is a case hit right here. I ordered 10 packs. This is probably one of the most inserts there are, but this is called Captain's Choice. And out of those 10 packs I bought, I pulled this Messier,
Nice.
and it's different, but
Yeah, there's the buzzsaw, man.
oh, okay, now I know what you're talking about. What are those
That
called,
bar.
Steve?
It's a
Cut
cut above,
Cut above.
but they're across 3 sports: basketball, baseball, and football.
Yeah, the Griffey's like a $600 card, I think, raw. Maybe not, but it's something. This is one of my only case hits. Well, wait, this and this I think are case hits.
Is that the Beam team?
That's
Yeah.
the Beam team.
Yeah, that's the year before for hockey. Is that 2000, 2001, Dave?
Yeah.
See, yep, that's the year Lemieux's not in it. He came back in 01, 02. In 2000, 2001, is that Stadium Club?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he wasn't back till 01, 02.
So yeah, those were. If you can look, you can see behind the light. I mean, there's the face-off circles are die cut out of their center line, blue line back there by the goalie, the stanchion. So
What a
Lot of work.
difference.
a lot of work went into those.
And what a difference between that year and then the next year that I showed.
Mhm.
How it went from very ornate to very plain.
And that's, like I've said before, where a lot of that stuff died because everybody wanted jerseys. They wanted more jerseys, and then or at least that's what the card companies. I mean,
Thought.
people did want them, but at the same time, I still wanted give me my inserts, give me my technology cards, give me my creativity. And that's where I will stand in my hill and say that's how Pacific died. They went from such an innovative brand, all those die cuts, and again, I'm sure that was a cost, probably prohibitive thing for trying to put all these cards together to go to like a jersey card. But at the same time, you're paying how much for jerseys? So I don't know.
Yeah, LA Pats, Jambalaya came to football and hockey via Fleer Retro.
Mhm.
That's how they actually came to be. And they were, at least for football, it was all college uniforms because it was done by Upper Deck, and Upper Deck didn't have their NFL license. They had their Players Association license, but not the NFL. So that's how Jambalaya came forth to football. It's no different than PMG's coming to hockey.
Yep.
Came via Fleer. I call it Fleer Retro. I don't know if it's the same
Well,
for
it's-
hockey, but
It came in Fleer Showcase, Fleer Ultra, and there's only 1 year of Fleer Retro. It's 12-13 for hockey. That's the one. What's funny, if you go back and you watch Chris Justice bust a bunch of boxes, and they were like $70. Thinking back then and being now, how I wish, better half, I'm about to spend some money. I'm buying 2 cases of this stuff, You're out of your mind. Because then that was the year Cease was born. So I got a newborn. I got two girls in high school, and I got a newborn. I don't think that went over well, but man, what a ride that would have been. Whoo! Those cars out of 12, 13. That has to be one of the prettiest sets of hockey cards ever made. It's just I'm a sucker for Fleer Ultra, and it goes back to the day I pulled it at Cuz's Corner, those Lemieux cards, many moons ago. But
Fleer made metal too, didn't they?
yes, they did.
So they were doing some good work, man.
They made hockey 95, 96, and 96, 97, but there was no PMGs.
No.
There was 95, 96, you had International Steel, and you had International Steel, and there's another insert. And then in 96, 97, that's when you're starting to get into the armored plated stuff, the superpowers, that kind of stuff, the lethal weapons. That was your 96, 97. And now try to get a box of that stuff, 96, 97 Flair metal. A base set is going for like $400 for hockey. It's insane because it's just they're nostalgic. I mean, the 12-13 version that they redid. Ooh, I remember those. They just don't make cards like that.
I think what was that, Dave?
Top laser power cut 96.
Yeah, I mean, Topps Laser, their base cards were like as cool as other people's inserts.
Yeah, they were insane.
It's like the high tech that Steve showed a couple times. The variations.
Yeah, man.
The 200 different versions of the one card because it's all different shapes on each card.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Trying to put, I remember it's Topps 85 401, I think, was trying to put all the bonds together. And I think there's like 100 and some variations, and he has like 98 of them. He has a good
Imagine how cool it like when you add a new variation to your whatever. There's one year that like all like the variation, like the diffractors, like there's 6 different kinds of and they're all like super short print. I'm not well versed in those high tech variations.
Well, the 1 year that they brought it into football was 2015, and you had all the variations, like the shape variations, and some of them were serial numbered, some of them were not. And then you had like diffractor variations on top of some of those, and then I want to say
layers,
at least
layers
in the Terrell Davis checklist for Topps Tech, including the proofs. I think they call them proofs. It's just like printing plates, but they call them proofs. So it's all 4 colors like they do for plates, including all the 101s and the autograph versions and everything else. I want to say there's like 30 different cards for 2015 Topps High Tech for Terrell Davis. It's ridiculous.
You have them?
Not all of them, no.
Hey, Vinny.
Ooh.
Why? How did we forget this?
Oh, because we're
Kramer's Choice, yeah.
That's got to be one of the ones up there for me because that's just. I've got some examples here of greatness. So here, Brad, I hope you're still in here. When somebody sends you a link to Marino, you buy it. Then you can have a partner with that one.
Yeah, Title Quest. Yeah, that's one of those still to this day that hurts not picking that one up years ago because there's only been one that has been, Essence of the Game.
That and the Skylines, those are the 2 out of 96 that are just.
But I'm still kicking myself in the butt for not picking up my Title Quest some time ago. I've seen one in a long time that still keeps popping up on eBay. They want $750 for it. And I'm like, it ain't that much.
Anything happens.
Which one's that one, Dave?
That's out of one of my piles from the. That's the Starring Roll 97 Ultra.
Oh, okay.
Card.
Don't
David
need
has
it.
acetate.
And then I don't know if Alan's still around, but this was courtesy of the.
Nice.
Siaka money, isn't it?
Yeah, the Pascal.
Didn't care that it was graded. Helped that it was. That was, and again, there's plenty of Ripken autos out there. There's those Leaf ones. He's in all kinds of those. But at the same time, I'm like, that's one I've always wanted. That's been one of those kid cards you're never gonna get it.
There's a Honolulu.
Antoine Smith, obviously the best one.
Well, it's like I talked to you, Dave, about the Kramer's Choice. Mine was buried in a lot of Lemieux cards. There was like 20, 25 cards, and you didn't see it till you went over to the second slide.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the second picture had the Kramer's Choice, and my eyes got big, and I'm staring at it. I'm like, he wants $47. Nothing else in here is worth it, but that is definitely worth it. Buy it now. Buy it now. Buy it now. I think I put a hole through my phone. I was like, yeah, I need that. Oh, cool steel. That's 95, 96 metal.
6'7".
97.
That's the superpower.
Oh, yeah. If it's a superpower, it's 96, 97.
Of course it is. Dave only deals with superpowers. Dave has superpowers.
Yep.
I got a couple nice shacks coming from birthday eBay gift cards.
Nice.
Box toppers, Ty. Box toppers.
And there's the football.
That's the 2000.
Yep. That's another guy. I always in the
Brunel.
best of going deep. I loved Brunel. And then Carlos had to be a dick and pick up his. I was going to send that, and then he picked it up. And then Joey, if you're still in here, we talked about that Reggie White. And I said there's a different one that's a little more rare. Here's one that's rarer. This guy I told you, I thought 24 karat, no, 22.
That's awesome.
That's the one. If that was a Reggie White that was graded, I still wouldn't recommend paying it because, again, here's your.
$250
to $250. And there's, I don't know, 5-6 different variations. Because you had the 22 karat, I think, without the gold on like a regular, the green. And then there might have been some other kind of foliage. But I mean, if you see this one at Reggie White, you're going to pay probably more than $10 for that one. Just saying.
22 karat gold Black Magnum Knights out of 97 Dynagon. That was another Terrell Davis that I pulled that I was like super pumped for.
Does Dave know this one?
Diamond Producers 98 Ultra.
97.
That's
Yeah,
that's
it's got,
It's
like,
close.
It's got wood, the felt on the
Yep.
side, and the foil. It's pretty sweet.
I passed up a Gwyn that was super cheap on eBay because it
I
had
probably
some
bought it.
like $16.
Oh, the one that how much was it?
Or like $16-18. It was super cheap.
Yeah, I saw that, and then I looked close. I was like, no way. It's funny you say that because like I bought this, and then that one popped up, and I was like, wait a minute. I think I paid like $50 for this.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, when I saw that one, I think it was 19. I was like, it was on like a red background, and I was like, no way. And then I looked closer, and it was just mangled. So okay, I felt better.
I was like, oh, that's stupid cheap.
Yeah.
Steve can remind you of my mangled card story.
Yeah, we won't go into that one.
Yeah.
I wish I had the Stanley Cup version, but 75 years of pro set.
Nice. I've never saw one of those. I just saw it in the Beckett and was just like, I wonder what that looks like.
Do you have the Lombardi yet, Dave? Or is that still on your bucket list too?
Still out there, and it's still I'm gonna have to pay, and then LA Paps was thinking about. Here's a Diamond Producer,
Yeah.
Diamond Immortals. That's one I'd have to.
This is the Diamond Tribute.
Yep.
It's a pretty awesome one.
And those aren't super tough, but they're gorgeous.
Yeah, they're not expensive. This was under 20, well, 20, 25 bucks maybe.
Yeah, they redid those in 12, 13. What is that?
So, are you a fan of the Crusades? Or are they an overrated insert set?
I listed them as my overrated. This is out of Donruss, I think the Canadian Ice
Oh, 96, 97, or 95, 96.
7/8.
Oh,
7/8,
yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's national pride, and again, it's to 1997. So I mean, it's not like you got acetate. You got some little foliage down there, and on the back, the serial numbering's in red for Canada. So I don't know. There's a
Yeah, that's my bad. 96, 97 was the last year they did a tribute to Lemieux in Canadian Ice. And then 97, 98 is the year I don't know. So that's why. Yep, that makes sense.
And that's what we've said, Alan. Unless you're me, wanting like Josh Johnson, everything ever created, you don't have to chase after a lot of those cards. Some people don't like. It's like, do you want to have a Fleer Brilliance Blue just because it's, unless you want to get the rainbow?
I do.
But, well, I know you do. But, I mean, for Igor, the 24 karat and the golden 99 would be enough for me. But I don't collect Igor like I did in 93, 94. So
This is the 94 Bowman's Best Piazza Refractor.
That's a beautiful card.
I love that set, man.
That's
I'd love to get-
that's when the early refractors were pretty.
yes,
Yeah, man. Like so much. What do they call it? Etching.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like his wristbands are glowing. The sleeve on his shirt, the patch, the MLB patch, his belt.
Yeah, the early refractors are by far the prettiest, in my opinion. Dave with his 3 supers.
I've got more too. That's the,
I know you do. Those were additions from this year.
that's like the
Those are
power
the 3 at arm's length, right? Within arm's reach.
without having to dig in more boxes.
Yeah, as Dave, like keeps going off camera briefly, so he's digging into his repertoire of various things.
His local warehouse.
Yeah, there's
Yeah, but
just a ton.
yes, we know, Dave, that there's a ton.
There's a couple.
And we just surpassed the 2.5 hours, Dave.
Okay.
Just throwing it out there. Everybody is, I'm sure, enjoying the trip down memory lane since Joey brought up favorite insert sets, and people are just pulling out all sorts of stuff.
I will show this since we're talking. This is the modern one, but I don't get the chance to show it off. The Downtown Moss.
That's one of the downtowns. Yep. That's
Those
the
are
one you
beautiful.
pulled. Didn't you pull that, Bob, or did you buy that?
No, I bought this one. My dad pulled the Zion downtown, but out of Prism College.
Yeah, I remember rewatching that one.
Yeah, nuts, man.
I was at a soccer game listening to you the day you pulled that.
Yeah, pretty fun times. He should be coming over here sometime soon. We got a box of 2021 jumbo Bowman packs to open up. And just to BS, he hasn't been over in a while, so I got to get him over here.
Gotta get him on video.
Get that man on video. That's right.
No kidding, Paul. We're like crows with shiny pans in the middle of a field. Shine, shine.
There we go. I knew I had some Piazzas within.
Oh, LA Pats. Hopefully you're still Lynchpins. That's another one.
Oh, yeah.
Lynchpins has a cool
Lynchpins
set.
Sweet, those are awesome.
Yeah, those are nice.
Speaking of which,
And of
Wow.
Bob Gary.
That's awesome, man.
That's my collection of
Yeah.
his. I don't have big stuff, but I've got stuff.
Yeah. I was looking at an international a 98 Bowman Chrome International refractor of his. It just went too high for me to get.
there's another destination.
These ones.
Ooh.
Yep.
These are so terrible. That's the only bad part about holograms. You can't.
Some of them don't hold up well, that's for sure. But
This has got what? Rice, Pickens, Moore, and Bruce. One copy wasn't. But that was the thing. The seller had 2 in one, and I'm like, 2 in 1 lot. Paramount again. I like to sort of rip off the hot gloves.
See
And
the
they have-
finger?
I mean,
Sorry,
I
Dave.
think
You got to do it at least right, man. Come on.
Vinny,
Allen,
did hockey have like the Flair showcase where they did the row 3-2-1-0s?
Yes, they did.
no,
So mute.
the retro did,
The retro did.
but
Okay.
the original they only had the 1 year of Flair, and that was 96, 97, and all they had was ice blue, and that was to 250.
Hmm.
They didn't have one row 3, 2, and 1, and then 0.
No
Which
legacy.
Zeros. Man, I wish I had a Duncan rookie year row 0. I sold way too early.
Yeah, that happens sometimes, Bob.
Yeah. Oh, it happens. It's all good.
was that Hollow View?
Yep, 94 SP Hollow View.
Manny, yep.
Do you have any Reds, Dave?
Travis Fryman. I think I got it for like $6 within the last year because I'm like, I need to have one.
Ah, nice.
And then in the back, you had Card Frontation where you had a hitter and a pitcher.
That's right. So that should be that. Not that that was a good pairing, but like that would take time to do some research. But some of the worst, like where you got like one awesome player and then just one scrub, you know. And maybe it wasn't at the time, but like
Greg
I don't know,
Maddox
like-
against Pat Listash.
yeah, right.
Yeah, you could do that with Team Pinnacle for sure.
Yeah.
Love team.
Oh, that's cool.
Who was Vinny? The 90 was it 93 or 94 Pinnacle Hockey? Wasn't it like it was Gretzky and Lindros on one, wasn't it?
Yep.
Like that man, that card was.
That was a
was
6
awesome.
card set.
I got
Um,
that set. I do have that set.
Yeah, and then after that,
Brett
they
Hall,
were-
Brett Hall, and Yager.
Yep. And then the next year it was 2 sets because there was Canadian and there was US. So the one's a drawing. So I forget which one's which, but the US is a picture of Lemieux with Gretzky, an actual physical picture. Then the Canadian version, or vice versa, is a drawing of each of them.
That's the rare year.
Those are beautiful.
Is
I
that the
need
gold medallion? or-
The gold medallion.
Oh man,
There's your hot glove.
yeah.
So this is Fleer Ultra. That's the blue
Oh,
version.
the blue. Nice.
And that's the regular.
Bob, you might be in luck tonight. You get a couple. You get a couple.
Ooh.
It's a little wet your whistle time.
Nice. I search Moss patch cards every once in a while. I just haven't seen any that to jump on. That's nice. Is that the Raiders? Was that Raiders or was that?
Yeah.
Oh,
Raiders with a Vikings uniform.
Yeah, with the
Yeah.
Vikings patch.
I think that came with one of those. So this one, the
There's
tough
the
one,
blue.
Oh wow.
the die cut.
Wait, what is that?
What is it? Amazing Greats? Oh, I think 98. But
I don't know that one. Man. It looks sick.
acetate.
It's
It's
not
sort of
acetate
like
though. Is it acetate?
Yep.
See the
See the finger?
And then the
Oh
250.
wow. So
So
what's that out of?
upper deck, I think 98.
Huh.
Either 97 or 98. I can't remember.
Is linchpins out of metal?
Yes.
Metal didn't they have like the Galactics or something? And then they had the Planet Metals
Yep. Planet Metal for sure. Galactic
Yep.
probably.
or like all galactic team or something like that. I think that was the case hit, I thought. Can't remember.
Don't get me to lying. Yeah, Paul, I can understand that anytime a player switches team and they have the team jersey of who they're playing with on the card, but yet the patch is still the old team.
I have a Warren Moon for Kansas City Chiefs, but it's a Houston Oilers patch. Oh, is that a run producer?
Round tripper.
A round tripper, yeah.
Yeah.
Is that Ripken?
Yep.
I think I have that card. Ooh. Do you remember the first like cool insert that I had that was like the most expensive card in my collection for a while? It was 92 Ultra, the All-Star with like the black marble look on the outside. It was I had the Frank Thomas. That was like my best card in my collection for a short
There's you another
stint.
Elite Series.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. I found a guy on eBay who's like, it appears that he was a serious Tony Gwynn collector at one time, and he's been offloading. So I'll buy a few here and there because he cuts me a deal when I buy a couple. He's got one that I've never seen it. But it's like a it's like it looks like a Gaudy card almost, but it says that even in the title, like 1 out of 800 packs. I've never seen it. He wants $75 for it. I'm going to try to get it for less.
Does he have it actually listed as like a post on there?
It's on eBay,
Okay.
and yeah, it's on eBay, but in the title.
Items with your friends, and they can give you some information if you need it.
Yeah. Oh, right. I have yet to pull out my big manual.
Beckett?
Yeah, it's not the Beckett version. It's just the baseball card catalog. Or yeah,
Oh, like the almanac, the other almanac.
the standard catalog. Yeah. But it has the same deal, like little write-ups with pack odds and stuff.
While in Rome, I figure, since I'm in the Fleer box,
The PMG.
it's the red and the blue. The green's on eBay right now. He wants 3Gs for it, or 4Gs. He made me an offer of 3Gs. I thought I love my life a little bit more to have the better half come down here and burn me at the stake. So I passed on that offer. But
Hey, I don't mean to check in and check out, but I just knew I could pop on for a little bit because time is limited these days. But I just got summoned. Yeah, so it was fun to come on and talk inserts on the Insert Revolution podcast, for sure. But
Well, you're always welcome, Bob.
yeah, thanks, man. I was happy when I got the link when I looked, and then I got home. I was like trying to make things happen without causing waves or anything. It's like, let me get as much done as I can to buy myself at least a half hour, 45 minutes. But yeah, thanks for we'll do it again.
Absolutely. Thanks for jumping on, Bob.
Yeah,
Take it
Take
easy,
it easy,
brother.
buddy.
bye.
Ooh.
Now we got him. Now we got him upside. We got him sideways, upside down. Somebody needs to get a screen grab. Somebody needs to get a screen grab of that at some point. At some point.
That's a tough one, Dave. That is a tough one.
That was cheaper, and that was recent too.
That's the refractor version, right?
That was, God, this was
That's,
2 or 3 months.
yeah, that's what 99 2000, right?
Yes. So
Stanley Cup Heroes. Yeah.
I've lost that. That one almost matches my Fire on Ice story because I've lost about 3 or 4 of those. I'm like, it's not going to go over $100. Goes over $100.
Yeah, but the Fire and Ice you don't have to worry about anymore.
This is true. That one,
Courtesy an open live on the IRP.
yep, that one's safe in the Leaf Donruss box over there. It has its forever home. It will never, like I said, when she's older, when we move, she wants to make our house a museum. I'm like, do you want like a coat of armor in there? She goes, that'd be cool. I'm like, okay, we'll get like a dragon's head and make it really medieval, and that's right down her alley too. Either that or a giant Pikachu or Charizard, one or the other. But
There you go.
I bought that little Pikachu thing. It was at Sam's Club or BJ's or Costco or one of them. The wife said, "You're not getting that." So as soon as she turned around, I threw it in my cart, and I said, "I just think it's funny because it's like a onesie, and she just loads up in that thing, and she's got the ears. I think she loves that. She loves that thing. So,
Well, yeah, and if you can remember, my kiddo had theirs on, and you were like, "Oh, I got to find one of those for C." And I'm like, "Vinny, it's a onesie."
yeah,
and
that's
lo and
right.
behold, look what C has.
Yeah, the power of the dad.
Subliminal messages via the IRP, it seems. Ay. Well, we surpassed the 2.5 hour mark. It's been a while since we've done that. Go ahead and position it to the chat if they'd like to add anything else. Any last minute questions, comments, commentary, slanderous diatribes that either one of us are always welcome to. We got broad shoulders. We can handle them. And if nothing else comes up, Dave, I'll let you go into closing.
That was fun. After a day of 12 hours, you're like, what can make the day better? The IRP.
Oh, Carlos got a screenshot. Ask and you shall receive. Thank you, Carlos. Appreciate you. Turn that into a shirt.
Bob, and then on the back to say Lewis, and just have a picture of that, and then on the back have a picture of chair, and people will just look at us like, what? As they say, as the guy from Burbank said, if you know, you know.
Very true. Very true. Well, Dave's obviously has a few more to show.
As your centering nightmare.
Ooh. And the front is okay. The Pavel Bure side is not so much.
I had to get 3 or 4 of those because they chip like a son of a gun. What is that?
Executive collection.
That's after. That's 97 or above. Yep. That's
Is
my
that-
dark years.
Is that the same thing that would consider to be like trophy collection for football, Dave?
No, because this one has like I don't even know how to describe it. You look at the foil. Let me see if like that. It's like a different foil, not that sort of like the center is the Doofix and it goes outwards or whatever, or on like the bottom it's like the rainbow Doofix. That one is an oddball.
Gotcha. Artist proof.
Arjuf, yep.
And then a
Glad
couple.
glad that one's off my list. Thanks to Nick Pop's collection.
That was another one of the new ones. That was like the case hit.
Yeah, I forgot they did those.
Yep.
That's numbered to 100. Or is it to 100?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
like
I missed out. I missed out on the TD one that was listed not too long ago. I forgot about it.
those remind me of those Heart Hopefuls,
Yep.
Dave, for hockey. There's a bronze, a silver, and a gold, and I have the bronze, the silver, and the gold, but my gold is a back door because it doesn't have a number. So
Yes, Joey, you did ask one question that took up the rest of the show, but very enjoyable across the board. And it sparked great conversation. So,
Well, and that's as we're 1 day from our 1 year anniversary. That was sort of our goal. Bring more of the football card stuff into the YouTube hobbyverse. Just because you have a glut of basketball, you have an inordinate amount of baseball. Hockey and football are, especially from that era, are not really well represented at all. At least, again, that we've come across. So to show this stuff, I mean, that's just a drop in the ocean of the stuff I've got, I know. But, I thought I'd come across the stack with the PMG green in there, and it wasn't. Everything else that was in that lot was in there, but the green. I mean, here's the Plumber Fractal die cut matrix that was in there with the 2 Natron 24 carats, the Knapp Kaufman images
That's
done.
pretty.
well, you may have moved the PMG green because that's something that we had on one of the earlier
one.
episodes. So you could have moved it
Put it in
because
some
that
other-
was the quote unquote Easter egg episode.
Okay, yeah, that's right. $24 carat on that one
It's-
too.
Paul, it's the international reach of basketball. That's why. Basketball is international. That's why even you see more baseball because baseball is still even known on the international level. Football is strictly North America. So, I mean,
Yeah, as much as they try to push it for everywhere else, it just
but that's why you don't see as much of the representation. Bledsoe, Shaq, Jeter.
Is that classic?
yeah,
Yep.
force Weber.
Weber.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Wave
That's
of
out of-
the future.
Yeah, I was going to say that's out of Flair, isn't it?
Did they had the hot numbers in football?
Yes. 1 year that I can think of.
97. Because they didn't have a product in 96. I don't think.
That's always been my weakness. Though I love football, basketball, and baseball of that era, we had a team system, as I've said before. My middle brother, did football, and basketball, and my baby brother did baseball. So, if I needed something baseball, I'd just tell my baby brother, hey, try to find this for me. All right. And I handled the hockey. And we all kind of did non-sports too. So while I know their existence, my detailed knowledge is not there because they were the Encyclopedia Britannica of said sport. And I never got any better because when I dived back into this, I just went into the hockey mostly.
It's very easy to lose out on information in other sports though too, because there's so much.
Those the case hit, Dave?
No, I wish they were, but I'm glad they're not because that's another set that I wanna. That Go Top Shelf out of '97, I think.
That's Donruss, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Lemieux's got that.
And this one too, the Cutting Edge, where it's got that.
I started that set. Yeah, that's Donruss Elite. Yeah, I love that Deco Edge on that. That's probably my favorite Elite. The second year. What is that? That is,
I think, line to line.
it's got to be at 97, between 97 and 2000.
97, 8, and I know there's a die cut to 250, I think.
That's an Elite after 96, 97.
And then
All those that's a tough one right there.
that was his perspective to 500.
Yeah, I remember the only Lemieux out there was like $300-400, and then one day one of them popped up, and I think I got it for a few shekels, as they say, and it was a steal because that one's a tough one. Those don't pop up very much for my particular player. Yep. I just got one of those in today. Is it Lemieux the Dufek side or is Gilmore?
Gilmore is.
Yep. Mine today, I had Lemieux was the Dufek side and Gilmore was the just the shinier side.
And Joey, again, Reggie White year type stuff. Here's that Edge Masters. Here's the base set. That says SS, Sword and Stone. It's got the little
That's
logo
pretty.
there. And then on the back, Master Set. I don't know a print run. I'm not sure. That's something that is I'd love to get like a collector's edge person on here.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
My brother used to buy the heck out of that collector's edge.
I'm just looking to see if I can find that green if it's down in my little stash of things here. It probably won't be.
It would have to be in anything related to, like I said, the Easter egg episode, where serial numbering kind of dictates certain things as it pertains to, it may be serial numbered 100, but only the first 15 were autographed. Or
Yep. Then you showed one.
Yep.
Choice.
A lackluster card, but the rarity is there.
Showing just stuff like this laying around.
now you're deviating, Dave. Yes, you're deviating.
That's the better half. If you look over wait a minute, that shoulder, that's Ovi over there. That was her Christmas present a couple years ago. She had me bring it down here because she was afraid the light was going to get it. That's nice with the stitches.
I love those. Go through this last pile, the Thunderclap.
Oh, those are nice too.
This was another 96 Fleer Zone. Those were, I think, one a case. Here's your 93 Select. I think this was the update. The rookies and stars or rookies traded or whatever. Mike Lansing.
Ain't that the truth, Paul?
Can't go. I've got my Brodeur. It's sitting in ComC. I don't know when it'll ever show up. More superpowers.
Those are just gorgeous.
Koopa. And then Jim Carrey.
Jerry.
Yeah, I'll have to find that. It'll probably be something that'll start eating away at me, but where the hell is that?
That drives me nuts because if I have a temp box that I put all my Lemieux in before I shine them up, put them in a new top loader, and well, I was out of top loaders for almost 3 or 4 weeks, and I didn't get to do it. And before I know, that temp box was full, and I'm like, organization, danger, Will Robinson, and it's more like danger, better half. She's coming, and I don't want to lose what I got because despite me, probably the best thing that ever happened was I moved down to the basement and have this little. This used to be my oldest daughter's room, and it's now. Yeah, she doesn't like to come down here because right now I'm organizing sets and it's less than organized right now, which it has to be by tomorrow. So I just got to pick up all the boxes and put them back on the shelf.
Details.
Care packages. That's what it caused. My organization has caused care packages, which is what I wanted to accomplish anyhow. So I killed 2 birds with 1 stone. And as the old saying goes, and here we are.
This is true. Anything to add, Steve? Well, we got the topic banged out, then Joey derailed us completely, which is good. That tacked on probably another hour and a half. We probably got through about hour and a half, hour and 45, so at least a good hour plus. We have to show cards, again, debate, name our favorites. I wish I had more. I wish I had a big man on court. I wish I got Jambalaya, but I've got the retro. I don't know if it was Suter or Parisi. And yeah, you're taking the blame here.
It's a good blame. Good blame to take, Joey. Good blame to take.
Yeah. So yeah, thank you for everybody joining. I always more than appreciate you guys, gals, spending your evening with us, taking your time and listening to some of our diatribes. Some of us getting on soapboxes. And
Dave.
Yeah, when I go first and then Steve, oh yeah, I agree with most of those points.
It makes it easier sometimes.
I believe so. And then just everybody chatting. That's what this is about. We've said it. Keep on trying to hammer that home. Have the blog feel tonight. Alan, good to see you and you're my friend. Jason, back again. Just seeing people in here chatting amongst themselves, chatting with us. That's, again, the friendships in the hobby. That's what it's about, friends. Remember, like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell.
Are you going to promote next week?
Yeah, be here next week. Somebody making their debut in the chat and on screen. So be here. Just, you're here anyway. Nothing else going on Tuesdays anywhere else that's worth a shit. So be here. Today, it's every day, every episode, Bobby. Come on now. We are a diverse group of friends. We're promoting diversity here, Bobby. So join us next week. We'll actually try to start on time. Again, fingers crossed. But it'll be well worth it. It's hopefully adding somebody even to this family here. But be ready, be intrigued, have nervous anticipation. Just be here, 7:05 next Tuesday, and every Tuesday.
Central Time.
Central Standard Time. True. So remember, like, comment, subscribe, notification bell, Venmo, PayPal, EMT, money order, well concealed cash, Western Union. Hit up our Discord, hit up our OnlyFans, our crypto wallet, Super Chat,
Cash App.
Cash App, yep.
Cards.
Zelle.
Yeah, Zelle, whatever that is, Todd Zeal. Remember, the RRP is where good deals only happen. We appreciate you.
Venmo.
We're making moves. So again, thank you everybody joining us. Thank you to Vinny jumping on. Thank you to Chair. And I guess Robert for coming on for a bit. Good to see him. I think this was his first time back on since Baby Lewis.
Yep.
Team Schmedium in the house. Team Schmedium. Yeah, we got to represent Team Schmedium. Steve, Dave. Remember, cards, building those collections, great. The friendships you forge in this hobby, that's what it should be really about. Good night, everyone.
Bye, everybody.